Alright, welcome back guys to the next episode of our Morrowind Let's Play. I think when we left off earlier today, we were doing some Thieves Guild quests. And I believe we can pick right back up where we left off with that and continue on this quest chain. Oh, look at Almexia. Goddamn. She got quite the upgrade.
Three blessings.
Alright. So I think we picked up the quest, right? We did not. We did not pick up the next quest.
Greetings and salutations.
And greetings and salutations to you, Angoth the Jeweler. Gandosa Erebar is a counselor's daughter, if you know what I mean. I hear she's got a copy of Boethia's Pillow Book. A client of ours wants some dirt on the Erebar family. Apparently, Gandosa Erebar has a copy of this book which has been banned by the temple. Fetch the book and return it to me. I have to admit I'm a bit curious myself. So am I. Are we going to read this scandalous book? I don't know. How bright do we want this light? Oh. Oh. Wow. That's pretty bright. Maybe that bright? That's pretty bright too, though. How about this one? Boom. Compromise. Alright, so we want Boethia's Pillow Book from Gandosa Erebar. I wonder, is that in the same area? Because we know there's an Erebar Manor in the Underscar. Oof, jeez. Talk about brightness. We're probably going to need a strong open lock spell for this, because everything seems locked in this place. Okay. Huh. Is it this one? Erebar Manor. So it's probably going to be the bedrooms, like the private residence. Yeah, probably that, right? Yeah, probably. Manor bedrooms.
Why
There
are
she
you
is.
here?
Maybe we can ask her about it. I doubt she's going to like me very much. 88 with the charm spell. But she doesn't have anything here. An old Dunmer wandering around the arena in Vivec looking for an empty seat was jeered at by the crowd until he reached the seats of the Redoran, whereupon every Redoran younger than him, and some that were older, stood up and offered him their seat. The crowd applauded, and the old Dunmer turned to them with a sigh, saying, "All Dunmer know what is right, but only the Redoran do it." Interesting. So she doesn't have a dialogue option about this book. It's possible that it's in this chest. We should save first, in the event this goes horribly wrong. Oh, wrong spell. I just charmed the chest. What is this? Dungeons and Dragons? Can I roll an admiration check or something on the chest? Will it just open for me? Do I have a probe? I do. A Grandmaster probe, huh? Seems like it's overkill, but okay. There we go. Boethia's Pillow Book and 2 skooma. Damn, she's having a crazy night. It's a Netflix and chill kind of night for her. 2 skooma and the book. Alright, let's bring this back to our buddy, Angoth. Actually, I think it's this way, yeah. Morrowind and its maze-like cities.
Can we hurry some?
Let me by. Holy crap. Can I jump over? I cannot. Am I going to have to levitate over these guys
What is it, Outlander?
to get out of here? My goodness. The guards just love stopping in these narrow spots. It's probably the #1 power of the acrobatic skill, right? It's not so much world traversal, it's getting by NPCs that are standing in your way. So before we turn this in, if you guys are as curious as I am,
I think you're a
because I'm curious.
because you've stolen my heart.
Oh, damn, I thought we were going to get something scandalous in here. No words can describe what you see, or what you think you see. Wow, this is a scandalous book. It's like the Morrowind Kama Sutra, and she had 2 of the skooma bottles in there too. She was wildin'. Damn. And the very first thing she lectures me about is honor. Okay, let's turn this book in. Boethius pillow book. It weighs 10 pounds, by the way. I just want to point that out. Like, the other big books I have weigh between like 1 and 3, but this thing weighs 10 pounds. This is a hefty book. There's a lot of illustrations in it. Interesting. Books these Dunmer have. We're getting paid well for the job. I looked over the emergency supplies here and found a ring and an amulet. Just don't tell anyone I gave them to you. So the Amulet of Far Silence and the Chameleon Ring. Probably not as good as the Amulet of Shadows I have, but maybe it's not bad. I am now Jhakri the Bandit. Nice. Jobs. There's another book I want you to fetch. It's called Withershins. I have a copy of it at home. Oh, I have a copy of it in my inventory. Wow. I happen to have one literally on me. I knew I had picked up a Withershins earlier. I was going to add it to my my bookshelf at home. But I guess I'm giving it to Angoth. I'm going to have to find another copy then. I'm sure there's more than one. Joe Bosch's Rare Books and Vivek might even have one. I am not sure. Okay, jobs. That was the easiest quest of my life. We got some Dwemer Spider Centurions from a friend, and we got Estro who can fix them up, but we don't have any scrap metal. Okay. I can find some, I just have to go to a Dwarven Ruin. You can find scrap metal in most Dwemer ruins. I wish I knew a better place to get some, but I don't. We need 4 pieces. Why don't you just clear out a Dwemer ruin? Yeah, some of the alchemists might even have some. But I'm wondering... Is there a Dwemer ruin like real close to Alderune? I don't really think there are. They're all inside the Ghost Gate. I'm wondering if I just go to the one south of Balmora. I have cleared it once, but I could always clear it again. I'm sure some of the stuff is respawned. We are 430 days into this game. How much does this weigh? 40 pounds. Yeah, I was gonna say those are heavy, huh? Let's go drop this off at home. Maybe with some of our ingredients. I might even have some Dwemer scrap metal at the house, but I don't think I do. It weighs a lot, and it's not a particularly useful alchemical ingredient, so I don't generally pick it up. I did not know that there was going to be a quest that required me to have some, or I would have been getting it along the way, you know? So I do have a Dwemer courier. I guess I can just pick up a second one. We can put it down here, maybe? Good enough. Yeah, nice. That works. We can maybe put another one of these paper lamps over here too, because I like the orange vibe up here. I don't know where we'd put it. We could maybe put it on that corner. Or maybe we could just put it over here. Maybe we could put it right here. How bad is that gonna clip? It doesn't really clip that bad. I think it looks cute. Maybe we could put a whole line of them. We do have another one of those too that we could put down here if we wanted to. Oh, that looks nice. I actually like that one better than this one. Let's swap them. It's like Queer Eye for the straight Nerevarine in here. Yeah, that one matches the armor set really well with like the silver, the plated silver on it. It says paper lantern, but there's nothing paper about that bad boy. Yeah, we can put this one down here. Get our mood lighting. Nice. Our Umbra shrine is looking fantastic. Praise be to Umbra. Probably my favorite homie on this Orc Shaman. I feel a connection to Umbra. I get it. Yeah, 46 glass. That's what Ryanka was messaging me about on the YouTube comments, that I stole all this glass, worth probably over 9,000 gold, weighing at about 90 pounds, and I just stashed it in a chest to be forgotten about. It's not forgotten about, it's in my alchemy chest. But yeah, I'm not going to really use this probably, because it's all negative attributes, and I don't think we're going to make anything particularly useful with that. But I didn't forget about it. I know it's in there. Let's repair ourselves while we're here. And put a couple books away. The Mystery of Talara Part 2. Yeah, we'll have to go through and read some of those. I know I meant to. We might have an episode that's like low-key, where I just do alchemy and read some books. Ooh, bless me. Let me know in Twitch chat or in YouTube comments if you'd be opposed to an episode of just alchemy and reading. Remember the old, I don't know how old you guys are, but there was this old TBS show called Dinner and a Movie, where they'd show some B movie, and every half an hour or so there'd be like a 10-minute segment of like the cooks making dinner and then sitting down and eating it while they're watching the movie. It's old-fashioned, but it was kind of fun. But we could do like alchemy and a book night, like dinner and a movie night. No Creshweed, huh? Tragic. Athletics went to 68, yeah buddy. We're fast. We're gonna jump all the way up this hill. I don't think the homeless dude on the bridge is gonna respawn. No, he didn't. But I'm hoping some of the dwarven automatons inside have respawned. Just gonna take a quick rest there to get my fatigue back, in the event I have to fight in here. Which I probably will. We'll go ahead and get our lightning bolt locked and loaded. Looking pretty empty in here. There might be some scrap metal in some of these keg. Yeah, there's one. Alright, 1 scrap metal, 2 scrap metal. It's a nice little wood stove they got there. I don't think I have a Dwemer pitcher at home. I think I have this, but I don't think I have this either. We can put those both on our little shrine. Okay, the Weeping Hall, huh? Heaven's Gallery. All the doors are open. Doesn't look like any of the creepy crawlies in here have respawned, which is a shame. So the cogs are a lot of scrap metal, but they don't count as scrap metal. I hate that sound. This is promising. Nothing. Nothing. Well, it was promising. We got a cog. Let's drop down. This might be a bust, guys. Oh, I can get up there. Interesting. I could probably just levitate, but let's do the hardcore parkour. I don't remember doing this before.
Picked an easier opponent.
Okay, let's paralyze this guy. I wasn't expecting a dude to be in here. Let's poison him. Let's get away from him. Oh, buddy. You did not have much health, Beto Verenius. I wonder if you were important for something. Cool. The last dwarven telescope that I found was a vampire lair. But that guy's named and he's super hidden back here. I almost feel like he's part of some kind of quest chain. Maybe he isn't. Either way. No dwarven metal. We got a rusty cog here. We're gonna put this warhammer down. There we go. It's a really nice model. They did a nice job on that. It's nice and ornate. I can't really zoom in on it, but I feel like that would be absurdly hard to wield. There's just not enough, it's not long enough, and there's not enough weight at the bottom. It's super unbalanced. But it looks cool. Oh, look at all these crates and things. There's gotta be scrap metal in here somewhere, right? We just need 2 of them. Shit. No. We got some coins. Damn. Swing and a miss. Were these always empty, or did I just completely clean this place out last time I was here? We got some cogs. Damn. Blood Gallery. Oh shit, what the fuck is that? Dwarven Spectre. surprised I can poison it. There's another one. Of course, all the mobs that are down here are ectoplasm mobs, and not dwarven metal mobs. Oh, there's one. Hey, buddy. Lightning bolt. He seems highly resistant to lightning. Can we electrocute him? Yeah, there we go. That should kill him. Should kill them both. Let's see. Got him. No scrap metal. Rough. One scrap metal. Okay. We need one more. I'm sure we can find something down here that has scrap metal in it. Well, this goes deep. There we go. How are you, buddy? Lightning bolt. Boom. There it is. So that should be the 4 we need. 40 pounds. Weighs quite a bit. I suppose we just go to the end of this. We're here anyway. Dwemer diving helm. Constant effect, water breathing, and invisibility. Interesting. That seems absurdly powerful. That seems absurdly powerful. It's constant effect invisibility? What? That's wild. Does the invisibility break if I do an action? Now when it says damage Magicka 1 point on stealth, is that like 1 point a second? And even if it is, I've got 6 minutes worth of magic at that point to chew through. That's nuts. That seems like an absurdly strong helmet. I think I got the picture right. I did, I picked up a picture. Cool. Alright, I think that's it. I think I can head back to Alderun now. Haha, we'll take the glass to put it in our crate and forget about it. We kind of got lucky because we just cleared this whole place and we got exactly 4 scrap metal. I mean, I'll take it, but we were kind of close there. We almost had to go to another Dwemer ruin. Okay, let's get out of here.
At your service, Outlander.
We do have some stuff to sell to Creeper. I want to get the skooma out of my inventory, and I want to get this glass poison sword out as well. Although I love this glass poison sword. I feel like if I was playing a different build, I would be using something like this. You know, 4 to 30 thrust with poison on strike? That's juicy.
You see,
When I decided to do this Let's Play of Morrowind, Oblivion, and potentially Skyrim, I really struggled with deciding what I wanted to play, because it was a big decision, right? It's potentially hundreds of hours that I'm spending on the character. What kind of archetype do I want to go in? And it was difficult also to decide what is... Damn, is she really... Oh yeah, no, she's letting it all go in the back. She is business in the front and party in the back. I really struggled to decide because I needed something that I felt would be viable, you know, in all 3 versions of the game. Potentially even Daggerfall if we go back and do that one. And I was kind of thinking like a stealth archer sort of thing. I could do like a wood elf thief, or maybe some kind of like a dark elf nightblade, you know, alchemy for poisons with illusion, stealth, marksmanship, stuff like that. And I knew it would be versatile and probably viable, but I didn't end up doing it. Partly because I feel like that kind of nightblade stealth archer archetype is so overdone, particularly in Skyrim. So I went with this orc shaman instead because I feel like this is something that pretty much nobody's probably played, at least not made a let's play of. but a lot of the build that I was considering making would have loved this glass poison sword, for sure. Alright, let's get rid of, I guess we'll start with that. So it's 17,000 gold. So we can take a ebony spear, and then maybe one pair of boots here. And then we'll sell the spear for one helm, one pair of boots. Interesting. And then we'll sell the helm and boots. And then we'll sell the boots and probably the skooma. I doubt he'll buy all that glass, but I wanted to go in the player house anyway. And I think that's about it. So 3,200. Nice. So we just made about 25,000 gold there. Up to 477,992. And now that everything is fully enchanted for us, we actually don't have a whole lot to spend gold on. We no longer have considerable gold sinks unless we were to train aggressively, which we might end up doing. We'll see. Boop.
How about sharing the
Oh my
wealth?
God. Move.
I've lots to show you.
Brother. I'm considering murdering you. Oh, we snuck through.
Welcome. Please don't be shy.
If that guy, if on a future episode you're tuning in and I teleport to the Alderaan Mages Guild and he's not standing there, I didn't do it.
What?
The OJ defense. If the glove don't fit, you must acquit. $250 septims each? Yeah, pretty good. 1,000 gold for that? I dig it. Jobs. Aindel, a Bosmer like myself, has some fine arrows, the darts of judgment. He has 4 darts of judgment. They're very rare missiles, made in my home province of Valenwood. Aindel is a guard at Lorethry Manor in Alderaan. If you find the darts there, feel free to use them, but the guild will pay some good money if you don't want them.
I have a feeling that you and I are about to become very close.
Okay, let's go find him. I think Lorethry Manor, or however that's pronounced, is under Scar. I don't remember where. We can use our local map. I've been doing flavored water, just to drink a little bit more water. Stay better hydrated, speed up my metabolism, all that good stuff. And we've tried a couple of different ones. The Mio ones are good, and then there's these, well, I'm not going to remember the name of them. Is it, I can't remember. But there's 2 brand name ones that we've more or less liked, but they're a little pricey. So, my other half went to the store and got like the cheapy name brand grocery store ones, and this is a mixed berry one of like the name, the store brand, and I gotta say, don't love it. I think it uses stevia as a sweetener, which I don't hate necessarily, but the flavor, the mixed berry flavor, is very medicinal. Not feeling it. There it is. Northwest. We found it. Oh, nice. They have their own tree inside. How does that get sunlight? And the roots all fit in that little basket right down there? It just seems impractical, is all I'm saying. This is really pretty. I like the little balconies. I like the nice carpets that they have everywhere. Really cool. Alright, this guy could be anywhere. I'm gonna go with guard quarters. I think that's a good guess. Nice, they have some nice iron weapons. They have some nice clothing over here too. A lot of guards. The marksmanship lesson, we're in the right place. And we're stealing that. 100%. Oh, coming right at us. Oh shit, this one's locked. Okay. Let's blast it open real fast. Nothing. Not in there. With the marksmanship lesson being on the bed, I had high hopes. Oh shit. It's not high enough level. Damn. I was thinking the 50 lock chest was gonna be it. Could they be under a pillow or something? Like, would Bethesda be that mean? Would they hide them? Would they hide them under a pillow? Do I have,
Why are you here?
yeah. Do I have like a sense magic spell? Oh, look at that. Short bow on top of this closet. There they are. Damn, we figured it out. Okay. Wow, they're Daedric. Daedric Darts of Judgment. This guy is like completely onto me. Okay. We know what we gotta do. There's no way they're gonna see me. No way. Completely hidden. Definitely gonna save scum. Got him. Alright. So yeah, there was enough visual storytelling here. There was a book for the marksmanship lesson. There's a bow on top of the cabinet, and the darts are all on the bed. So although I wasn't really looking at the beds at first, I was obviously looking more at the chests. There was enough going on in that corner to imply that there was like a very skilled marksman there to lead me to finding those. Yeah, this is not where we belong. We went the wrong way. We got lucky though. We made all the right decisions. We went into the guard quarters, we looked around, we used the visual storytelling, narrowed it down, found the darts on the bed. That guy's gonna be pissed to know they're gone. 1 to 12. It's kind of crazy that they do 12 damage, where this Skull Crusher does, 60. And those things are worth 500 gold apiece. Just doesn't seem cost effective at all. Like, you know how many of those you'd have to throw at a Winged Twilight to kill her? Like 100 of them. It's gonna cost you like 50,000 gold. Here's 2,000 septims for the darts. You've done pretty good work for me. If you got a price in your head, I'll see if I can take care of it. I don't. I'm now Jhakri the captain. Yeah, buddy. I've got no jobs for you, Captain. Try Sugarlip Sebastian Balmora or Big Helende in Sadrithmora, or you can talk to the Master Thief himself, Gentleman Jim Stacy. He's in Vivek, but is very choosy about who he has work for him. Okay, so let's go to Sadrithmora. Go ahead and put our Necromancer's Amulet back on. And recall out of here. Most of those Aldaroon Thieves Guild quests were more or less in Aldaroon. It made short work of it, and we happen to have Withershins in our inventory, which was just a crazy coincidence. So, I think overall that went pretty smoothly.
What say you?
Let's see how Sadrithmora goes. Big Helende. None of those people look like Big Helende.
Well met.
Is that Big Helende? It is.
An artist can hardly express their craft without proper tools. Perhaps I can interest you in something.
She's trying to sell me some lockpicks and probes. On the down low. Let's see. What do you got? Yeah, you got lockpicks and probes. Okay. So, jobs. We've been hired to fetch a Dispel Potion recipe. Okay. We don't usually do business with the Mages Guild, but Tusa Mersal wants a recipe for a potion of Dispel Magic. Everyone says the best alchemist in town is Anna Seloth. You might want to start looking for the recipe there. When you find it, deliver it straight to Tusa Mersal at Wolverine Hall. Okay, so we're going to go to Anna Seloth's alchemy place. Let's go local. Scroll up here. Find out where the hell we're going. I didn't know there was a Morrowind here. There it is. Pretty much straight north, 12 o'clock. That local map is so useful. Especially in a game like Morrowind. It's this one. She has a squid helm guy right in here. Master's Mortar and Pestle, not bad. Got a lot of alcohol too. You're not making that, are you? Oh, big yawn, sorry. It's getting late, it's been a long day. Look at the Apprentice Mortar and Pestle. I love how I love how welfare this thing is. It's a slightly concave stone with just a grinding stone. I mean, I guess it works. But it's as simple as it's gonna get, right? That's a huge skooma pipe. I think it's bigger than my good skooma pipe that I have at home. I like that glass. It's pretty. And she's really scrimping on the bed. It's just a little net hammock up here. God damn. Lady, you can do better. Dispel Potion Formula. Also has a Master Mortar Pestle in here. Cool. Well, that was easy. Okay, bye. Easiest Thieves Guild quest ever. Let's read it, by the way. Pearl and Moon Sugar. Heat moon sugar until it melts and begins turning brown, so you're going to freebase the moon sugar. Add the pearl dust, remove from heat, cool with water, and add to an alembic. Boil the mixture and collect the vapor. Alright. Pearl and moon sugar. We could certainly make that. Maybe that's why she had a skooma pipe.
You see.
You dirty dog.
Oh,
Welcome
greetings.
the days
How do
you
you
wish
do?
to talk. What shall
May
we
we
talk
talk?
about?
Damn.
No trouble at all.
Everybody's talking all at once. Alright. Now leave me to my studies. Alright, you're done. You're done.
Go ahead, please.
Pleasure
Good
doing
day
business
to
with
you.
you. I can almost clear that with my acrobatics now. Almost. Nice, 500 gold. Alright, jobs. One of our customers wants a Grand Master retort. I don't think I've ever found one. I did find a Grand Master mortar and pestle, but everything else I have is master level. They're not usually for sale, and when they are, they're a bit too pricey for most people. I've heard that Berwyn, the trader in Telmora, is selling one, but you can get it for a special discount if you're careful. There may be a few others here and there. Bring me a Grand Master retort, and I'll pay well for it. Okay, so Berwyn, the trader in Telmora. It's actually crazy, because I'd like one for home. I wonder if there's, like, another one I can get. Maybe the handy-dandy notebook gives me several options. Helene notes that they're usually not for sale and typically expensive, but that Berwyn the trader in Telmora is supposed to have one. Steal that one, or another elsewhere in the game. As is frequently the case, any such item is acceptable. For instance, there is one in the Services Tower in Telvos. Okay, so there's one in the Services Tower in Telvos. Let's get them both. So we'll get the one at Berwyn the Trader's, and then we'll go to Telvos Services Tower and we'll steal that one. And then we'll have two of them. We can turn one in for the quest, and we can keep the other for our own home alchemical purposes. Sounds like a plan. I was thinking that the book might give me an alternative. And it did. I love that book, man. It's such a shame these days everybody just looks up everything online, and don't get me wrong, Google is nice and easy, but I miss the days when you had the big, thick strategy guides that you'd use. The Daggerfall one was incredible. It was actually kind of useless, but it was like 400 pages long. It did cover like the main quests, although not in a whole lot of detail, but it did nothing for any of like the miscellaneous quests in the game. But it did give you a lot of maps, it gave you a lot of stats, it told you a lot about different weapons and armor and the monsters you'd be fighting. It was a triumph. It was a huge book, and nothing like that I think had ever been really done. There had been some like Zelda, you know, strategy guides and stuff at that point, but that Daggerfall one was thick. And by the way, this was like, I don't even know what year it was. Maybe it was like 1994 or something. That thing was 20 bucks. In 1994. The thing would be like $80 today, and people still bought it. And there was an issue with Daggerfall where they had to delay the release by a couple months. I think it was 2 or 3 months. They found a bunch of like super game-breaking bugs in their like final quality assurance testing. And anybody that had pre-ordered the game got a letter hand-signed by the CEO and president of Bethesda at the time, and they were given a free copy of that Daggerfall strategy guide. And it would be crazy if they still existed. Maybe I could find one on like eBay or something. Somebody's selling it for like $400 fucking dollars, but that was the OG one, right? And then they did another one for Morrowind, and then they did one for Oblivion. And I have the Oblivion one on the bookcase behind me. It would be cool to get the Daggerfall one. It'd be pretty nostalgic, even though I recall it not being super good. It would still be cool just to have. Take me back to the mid-90s. Alright, let's go to Telmora here. We can actually do a couple things while we're here.
Your actions precede you, Outlander. I've heard good
Local.
things about you.
There it is, Berwyn Trader. Essentially right in front of us. Probably this right here. Acrobatics 51. Hey, Berwyn. I feel like we visited her before. Was she the one that had the Corpus Stalker?
At your service.
Damn, this is gonna be hard to steal. It's like right in front of her. It's only 1,600 gold. I almost feel like we just buy it. If we had a telekinesis spell, we could probably telekinesis it. But maybe we just buy it from her. Her disposition is 100. It wouldn't really be that expensive. And I know it's not very becoming of the Thieves Guild, but I think it's going to be tough to steal. Plus, I like her. There it is. She's going to charge me 1,200 bucks for it. Not bad. I'm getting a good discount on it. Maybe I could sell her a little something? No, those are really nice. These aren't as nice. Let's sell her all 5 of these. Okay, we got it down to 550. Ooh, we got the raw glass. Hey! We actually had a chance to sell raw glass. I like the ectoplasm, though. I kind of want to keep that. Is there another one of these we don't really need? No, these are all pretty nice. I guess this one isn't really that nice. Yeah, these ones kind of suck. Let's sell all of these. Boom. Offer. Nice. We cleaned out a couple potions that we're not going to use, and we got our Grandmaster's Retort. So, some thief we are, right? Big Halende is going to be like, so was it hard stealing that? I'm going to be like, yeah, dude, it was brutal. It was real tough. I had to get super creative. Oh man. So let's go ahead and train our restoration to 100. It's only going to be 3 points, which isn't that crazy, and we'll be done it. And seeing how restoration and alchemy, I think, are the 2 primary skills of the Orc Shaman, right? I think we will have fulfilled some kind of class arc, some kind of class destiny by getting that done finally. We will be a master of the Orc Shaman with maximum restoration and alchemy. Also very hard to kill. We could probably make like a super restoration spell. I do have Greater Renew, which I never use, because the Minor Renew is really strong. It's 150 points of health, but the Greater Renew is 250 points of health, and I might have to start using that. It's about half my health pool now. My health pool is getting so large that I think I really do have to start upgrading, and I do have, as you can see, a 100% chance to cast it. What's wild to me is my Cure Blight spell, I still have a 0% chance to cast at 97 restoration. Wild. I might as well just delete it, to be honest. Delete Cure Blight. Yeah, just get it out of there. I'm never going to be able to cast it. Training. Restoration. 98. 99. 100. There it is, guys. 100 restoration, 100 alchemy. We did it. we're a maxed shaman now. Doesn't get any better than us. We've achieved the pinnacle. Interesting that our destruction is actually making its way on up, more or less without training. So is light armor, just because we're getting hit so often. Our block is more or less organic as well. So is our armor and alteration. We haven't done a whole lot of training of this stuff. As you can see, my enchant's still 28, which is wildly low. We're gonna have to start working on that eventually too. I don't know what's giving me, oh yeah, right, the ring is giving me acrobatics. We might have to start using an axe, to be honest. We might have to see if we can find a nice one. Or we can start just summoning one. We have that Face of God spell in here. Right here, Face of God. Bound Helm for 60 seconds, Bound Badlax for 60 seconds. We could start summoning that for every fight and taking people down with the axe. That would work. It's just cumbersome to have to summon your weapon every time. We could swap on over to like an Orcish War Axe or something, but Skull Crusher weighs nothing and hits as hard as a two-hander. So I'm kind of... Oh jeez, I did not make that jump. This place is a maze. Okay, let's try that again. Here. Southern Tower, good enough. A little dark in here. Wow, Alright. Wooden door. What the fuck? There's just a fucking random Daedrith? Can it open doors? Okay. You know what? We'll just... Look at this motherfucker. I gotta say though, this is badass. Look at this guy. Look at his kit. With like the full frickin' bone mold. He's got the one spiky pauldron, which we just saw in the Redron Underscar. And he's got the one regular pauldron. With the cool pants, gauntlets, the chest with a little bit of the cloth on it. This guy looks incredible. I bet he has some interesting stories. Yeah, he's House Telvanni. This guy looks awesome. So we're looking for the services tower. What? Dwemer Scarab plans? Dwemer Scarab schematics? He's got them on the wall. Your Dwemer museum is so much better than the one in my house. You got a whole steam centurion. You can look, but don't touch. It's all dwarf make, and it belongs to Master Aaron, so keep your hands to yourself. Okay. Chill. Yeah, look at all the cool stuff he's got going on here. The airship plans? I have all these too, at some point. I should probably put that Dwemer helm up that I just got, the really cool constant effect one. What? Look at this Argonian in the full glass kit.
Must you make a pest of yourself?
His name is Smokeskin Killer? Dude. Oh, we're definitely joining House Telvanni. House Telvanni's so badass. We do need to find the services tower, though.
Spare me the formalities and get to the point.
Wow. There's a fucking Imperial Guard locked up. Anything good? Oh, yes. Wow, he's right there, though. I don't know. Maybe we have that one. Maybe we don't. We're gonna get in trouble for stealing another book, aren't we? I gotta say, I think it's gonna kind of become part of Jhakri's backstory, though, is I'm a bit of a bookophile. I definitely love books and love to read and love collecting them. And I keep finding myself getting in trouble. That's a rare one, too. Okay, why don't you turn away? Nice. We got a guard patrolling. You're still looking at me, though. Don't love that. Can you turn away? Can I turn you away? Hey. Hey.
This is an unwelcome surprise.
Okay. Amulet of Shadows. We're gonna do a whole thing. We're doing it. We're going all the way. Nope, we don't have it. We got it. Heh yoink. Welcome to the Imperial Museum and Library. Please feel free to peruse the exhibits at your leisure, but please do take care around the prisoner. He's been in a terrible mood since we had to cut down his rations after the escape attempt. Master Aaron's fucking... he's a bad dude. Okay, services tower? Yes! Nailed it. There are a lot of people in here. Grandmaster retort. I think this is stealable. I think we can steal this. We got it. Amulet of Shadows is absolutely busted. So we got two of them, huh? Yep. Two Grandmaster retort. Telvanni Sharpshooter. This place is done up. The Telvanni 100% took over this fort. And they even have a guard locked up in there. Okay. Oh, we're still chameleon. Come a chameleon. Oh yeah, we're still see-through. And yet our weapon is not. So it just looks like there's a skull crusher floating through the air. I wonder how much constant effect chameleon we could put together on a character. Makes you wonder. Probably quite a bit. I'm going to save before turning this in because I don't want there to be a bug whereby it takes both of my Grandmaster retorts. So let's see. $200 gold. Actually, that's about what it cost me. And I do have the Grandmaster retort left. Boom. Nailed it. So we can add that to our home setup. We need to protect ourselves from the Kimona Tong. Maybe we should hire a wizard from the Mages Guild. Go to the Mages Guild over at Wolverine Hall and see if you can hire a wizard to protect our guild house. So it seems like this is a common theme in the Thieves Guild. At the Balmora Guild, Habasi hired me to find a security expert in order to really lock down the bar so that if the Kimona Tong came, they'd be able to essentially defend themselves. And then in the Alderoon Mages Guild, I got that Spider Centurion repaired for them, and now it patrols around. I don't really know how much help that would be, but the reason they did it is to protect themselves from a perceived Kimona Tong attack. And now here in Sadrith Mora, Big Halende is essentially saying, hey, can you hire us like a battle mage to protect us in the event of a Kimona Tong attack? That's pretty. So every Thieves Guild so far has had this same suspicion, the same fear, that they're going to be attacked shortly. It's interesting to do these quests kind of alongside the Fighters Guild, where you can see in real time that the Fighters Guild has essentially been co-opted by the Kimona Tong. Yeah. Pretty. The sun's just setting. We can watch it for a moment. And there it goes. Pretty. Alright. I don't know who would be a good candidate in the Mages Guild. None of these really seem like battle mages, so to speak, but...
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
Ariel Finial.
Good to see you out there.
Well, I find myself in pleasant company. Please share your welcome, friend. The day is yours.
You're the
What should we
badass
talk about?
mercenary mage? Okay, alright, alright. She has 100 disposition, so this should go well. Yes, I could arrange for a wizard to guard your precious guild hall, but first you must bring me 4 pieces of raw ebony for an experiment. I don't care where you get it. Buy it, steal it, mine it yourself. Well,
Oh, greetings.
I
How do
just
you
so
do?
happen
Maybe-
to have a fuckload of raw ebony at home. There's going to be a quest someday where it's going to require me to have 46 raw glass. And I'm going to go, holy shit. I have that at home. I got it. We're ready. Oh, let's put my helmet down. Because I feel like the helmet would look badass over here. Right? Right. So I have some plans. I mean, I can't put it on the wall. I'd like to put it on the wall. It's cheating. His museum is only better because they can put stuff on walls and I can't. Okay? Alright? I think that looks cool there, actually. And then what we can do is we can take the goblet and we can take the tube. And we can put this pitcher over here, right? Yeah, that looks badass. And we can put this goblet maybe right here. Yeah. Then we can put this goblet right... Ooh, yeah. It's nice and big. Put these goblets next to each other. That's looking dope. We got our 2 tubes. Yes. Absolutely. And then we can put our coins down right over here, probably. you go. Alright, we got a really cool helm now. Dwemer diving helm. We got like all the good books. We got the couriers, the cylinders, the tubes, the pitcher and goblets, another courier, a cool shield, some plans. It's looking okay. I know it's not as good as the actual Telvanni wizards, but it's not too bad. And then what we can do with this is we can take this Master's Retort, toss that. We got a Grandmaster Retort now. Nice. Grandmaster Retort and Mortar and Pestle, with the Master's Calcintator and Alembic. So we're gonna need Grandmaster of all of them eventually. We'll have to look all that up. Cool. We can put our ectoplasm away while we're here. And we can put our 36 Lessons of Vivec away. We've got a ton of these now. We've got 1, 10, 11, 17, 18, 2, 25, 27, 3. I wonder if we can, like, get all of them. I wonder if that's a thing. As we go around the world collecting books, if we can find every sermon of Vivec. That'd be a neat little challenge for the Let's Play. I don't know about that, but maybe. Oh yeah, I almost forgot what we came for. 4 pieces of raw ebony. There we go. Are you a Morrowind supremacist, or what's your opinion? I've only played Skyrim and Oblivion, tried to play Morrowind once, but was hard to get into. Love the lore, though. Yeah, you're not gonna like my answer. But, I played Daggerfall originally, right? Arena was just before my time. I was a small tyke when Arena was popular. I think it was like 10, and we didn't have a computer that would have been capable of playing something like that in like 1992 anyway. So I never played Arena when it came out. It was also a bit of a cult game. A lot of people didn't play Arena when it came out. But Daggerfall was the biggest RPG ever made. Something like 60 miles of in-game maps. Like, to run from one side of the map in Daggerfall to the other side would take you like real life 25 days. It was absurd. I remember Daggerfall was 400 megabytes. That was the size of the game, and my hard drive at the time was like 800 or 900 megabytes. So when you counted my operating system and everything else I had on there, I had about 500 megabytes free on my hard drive, and Daggerfall was 400 of them. There wasn't a game that size. That was absurd to have a game that took up your entire hard drive, essentially. Um, and there were like 40 skills, there were languages, and huge, complex, procedurally generated dungeons, by the way. We're talking like 1994. The dungeons were procedurally generated. It was fucking wild, right? I had never seen anything like Daggerfall. It was the closest thing to like a computer-based Dungeons and Dragons that you can possibly imagine. And I think almost every RPG that came after Daggerfall was standing on its extraordinarily broad shoulders. I think Daggerfall was one of the most, I'd say, yeah, probably the most ambitious game ever made. Now, you can talk about like Cyberpunk, which was obviously very ambitious, but they didn't end up, meeting 90% of their promises. And even something like Star Citizen, that's been in production for 15 years now. That's a very ambitious game too, but again, it's never been really released. But Daggerfall was not only the most ambitious game of all time, but they met or exceeded what they said they were going to do and what they set out to do. And I think Daggerfall is one of the best games ever made and one of the best role-playing games ever made. And Bethesda has never really captured the ambition and vision and scope of Daggerfall ever again. That being said, Morrowind, incredible. When Morrowind came out in like 2001, I think 2002 maybe, it was insane. I remember getting it at a midnight release. Oh, dude, Daggerfall was insane. It was insane. It'd be very difficult to go back and play today, right? Because it's like a 30-year-old game and it feels like one. But at the time, you have to put yourself in the mind of like 1994 gaming, right? Where the only thing you really had was like Doom 2D sprites. It's what we call 2.5D. It wasn't really a 3D game, but they used 2D sprites in three-dimensional sort of ways to almost give you the illusion of a 3D game. And Daggerfall did that as well. You'd have to put yourself in that kind of time period, I think, to really appreciate what Daggerfall did. But Morrowind was also crazily ahead of its time. This game was insane for 2001. I remember throwing the discs in, installing it all, booting it up on I think it was an Xbox, and just I'm standing in Seyda watching like the water come into the swamp and the sun rising and setting over the horizon, and this huge swamp filled with all these sounds of the crocodiles, humming, and the bees flying by, and it was such a big world. There was like 2,000 NPCs in Morrowind, fully three-dimensional world. Something like this was unheard of at the time. And I think Morrowind is the most rich game Bethesda's ever made in terms of its atmosphere. Like, I've never seen anything quite like it even to this day. This is such an atmospheric game. There's so many aspects of Morrowind that they just have not been able to replicate, and frankly, no one has. So I don't know. I think I would answer Daggerfall as the best of the Elder Scrolls game, but I think I'm very biased in that because it was my first. And I think a lot of people have those biases when they're talking about what their favorite game in a franchise is. It's probably the first one they ever played. You could ask the same about like Bond movies. Who's your favorite, James Bond actor? 99% of people are going to answer the actor they grew up watching, whether that's Sean Connery or Richard Dalton or Pierce Brosnan. They're going to answer Roger Moore if they were watching Bond in 1974. And I think you'll get much that same answer with the Elder Scrolls games. The people that started playing in 2012 and Skyrim was their first are probably going to say Skyrim's the best Elder Scrolls game. But I've been alive for pretty much the entire breadth of the franchise, and I gotta say Daggerfall is probably the most ambitious. But Morrowind is the most atmospheric. And I'm not playing Daggerfall right now, am I? I'm not doing a Daggerfall Let's Play. I'm doing a Morrowind Let's Play. So that might answer your question too. If it came down to what game do I want to go back and play again, Morrowind is 100% the answer. Absolutely. I think you could consider me a Morrowind supremacist in that regard. Oblivion lost so much of what Morrowind and Daggerfall had been putting together, and it's because Oblivion was extraordinarily rushed. There was a console deadline, there was a strict release, for the Xbox 360, and Microsoft had made a deal with Bethesda that this was going to be one of their flagship games that's really going to be a demo of a technical demo of what the Xbox 360 was capable of in terms of physics, CPU, graphics. And so Bethesda hyper-focused on the technical aspects of Oblivion, and they did an incredible job. It was absolutely a tech demo for the Xbox 360, and it was a powerful one. But what they lost was some of the storytelling and atmosphere of Morrowind. The game played better. It was smoother. It had better combat. There was more build variety, and technically it was a triumph. But going back, it's definitely a much more shallow experience, right? And then Skyrim comes along, and it's barely an RPG at all. It's mostly an action game, which is a shame. Real shame. So I think every Elder Scrolls has been slightly worse than the previous one, with the exception of perhaps Arena. I'd put Daggerfall at like an 11 out of 10, and Morrowind at like a 10 out of 10, and Oblivion at like a 7 out of 10, and Skyrim at like a 5 out of 10. So that's the long answer. Sadrath Mora, yes. And she wants all this ebony we just picked up.
Share your thoughts, friend. I enjoy the company.
Hire a wizard. Do you have the raw ebony? Here you go. Yes, these are all fine samples. I will send one of our fine battle mages, Natalinus Flavonius, over to Dirty Muriels. Okay, perfect. We got it. So one of the things I'll do for you too, Kilo Tango, is I'll link, if you care, anyway, the entire Let's Play, because I'm actually making this as a YouTube series. I am not making this as a streaming series. Playlists. There it is. I happen to be streaming it because I like the community involvement and all that, and it's also easier than recording it on my own computer. I can essentially use Twitch for their bandwidth, but that's the YouTube Let's Play series, and it starts all the way at episode 1, all the way to now, which I would presume is high 30s. This is probably episode 38, maybe 39. We're about 60 hours into this Let's Play now. We've done a lot. But if you're curious, the first 3 episodes of that Let's Play will show you how to get established and started in Morrowind if you so choose. It was not made as a guide, it was not made as a walkthrough, you know, it was just a natural part of the Let's Play, but it can almost serve as a bit of a guide on how to get yourself established within about 2 hours or so in Morrowind, how to make your character, how to level your character, how to optimize your stats and your leveling, how to make a little bit of gold, how to traverse the world. Those first 3 episodes will give you a really good introduction to the game if you're looking at installing it and playing it yourself, which I would highly recommend. Although keep in mind, it is a janky 23-year-old game.
What say you?
You have to be down with the jank. Alright, let's turn this in. Hire a wizard. Yes, our new guard has finally arrived. Good work. I'm using this ring to help defend the place, but I don't need it anymore. Dire Shardbolt ring. That might be powerful. We'll have to take a look. One of our customers wants the book Redoran Cooking Secrets. Farah, the proprietor of Farah's Hole in the Wall, and Dinara Orthrelis, the cook over at Lethri Manor in Alderun, have an annual cooking contest. Farah wants an edge in this year's contest, and she's hired us to steal Dinara Orthrelis' copy of Redoran Cooking Secrets, which should be somewhere in Lethri Manor. And you know, we were just there. We were just in that manor stealing those Daedric darts. So I wish I'd known about this quest. Because I could have picked this up while I was there. Well, let's go. Travel to Alderun. And at least we know most of the way. I don't know where the cooking area is, but...
How about sharing the
Oh,
wealth?
get out of my way,
I
brother.
want to show you.
Yes, we made it.
To what do I owe?
Ooh, sandstorm in Alderun. Brutal. Let's get in fast. I don't know if the Allstate insurance on my glass armor is going to pay for sandstorm damage. Okay.
Why are you here? Can we hurry?
Interesting. Here's the manor, but I have no idea where to go in here. Private quarters. Maybe there's a cooking area in the private quarters. Look at this dude.
What is it, Outlander?
Like full iron armor almost. Which is very unusual for a Redoran guard. Oh, him too. Very interesting.
I've heard a lot about you, Outlander. Go ahead. Why are you here?
This looks cooking-ish. Maybe. Huh. Okay, let's poke around. See if we can find a cooking book. Lock level 50. Brutal. We can crack that lock here. Redoran Cooking Secrets. Holy crap, we just nailed it. We nailed it. We walked directly to the area we needed to walk to. This should have taken us 15 minutes of walking aimlessly around trying to find the cooking area of this place, but we see all the Kwama eggs out, you know, and all these supplies here. And then in this room, there's a bunch of wash basins, cooking pots, sieves. It just seemed, I don't know, a lot of visual storytelling in there, which implied that was the cooking area. Okay, well, we got spectacularly lucky.
Why are you here?
We can head back. We can actually recall back. As the Dark Elves say, why walk when you can recall?
Outlander.
With pleasure. Please.
There we go. Quality Potion of Shadow added to my inventory. Nice. I am Jhakri, the ringleader. That's gotta be pretty high up in the Thieves Guild, huh? Gotta be. I'd like to see if you can get Felon Marion's staff. Felon Marion has an ebony staff that I'd like to get into our possession. He's a powerful wizard, though, so getting a hold of it won't be easy. He's likely to kill you. This is the only job I've got left for you, so if you don't want it, you'll have to go elsewhere for your jobs. I wouldn't even offer it, but it's all I've got. It's up to you. I'm interested. It's your skin. Felon Marion is in Tel Brenora. He's one of Mistress Thorana's personal retainers. You'll likely find him in one of the Telvanni towers there. Here, take these. It's tough getting around inside of those things. It sure is. I am an orc, and I'm big. Oh, hey, the battle mage.
Champion and legionary, how can I do for you?
I don't believe I've seen an orc with such a grand outfit in some time. Thank you, my dude. Yes, you hired me to guard this room. Very pointed. Okay, so let's end the quest here, the episode here, and I'll be back in. Oh,
Welcome.
what does this say?
If you wish
Let me
to
read
talk,
through this.
it
Sorry.
is really no trouble at all.
Find myself jealous of people born early enough to experience these games. As a 97 baby myself, I have had trouble catching up to my favorite franchise, Halo. Yeah, I had no idea about Elder Scrolls until 4, Oblivion, but these past 10 years I've always been obsessed with the Elder Scrolls lore vid. Whilst we're playing Skyrim and Oblivion, we'll definitely give Morrowind a try. Yeah, I get that, right? And I feel that way about other things, not gaming, because I was born like in the perfect time to be a gamer. You know, the mid '80s were when you wanted to be born as a gamer. But I feel that way about music. A lot of my favorite bands, were '70s bands or even '80s bands. And by the time I was old enough to start going to concerts, I mean, I couldn't see 1978 Led Zeppelin. I couldn't see, 1982 Who. I couldn't be in Mexico City in 1991 and see, Metallica play with the San Francisco Philharmonic Orchestra. These are all live albums that I have that I've had on records or even cassettes and CDs and now MP3s and MP4s. But I wasn't alive at the time to really to see those things. Thanks for the follow. So I can sympathize with the way you feel about gaming because I feel that way about music. I was born too late, you know. However, both of us can go back and enjoy the things that we weren't alive at the time they came out, and you can still get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I'm still a big Led Zeppelin fan, even though I was born too late to really appreciate them and go to their shows. And yeah, you were born too late to play Daggerfall when it released, like I did, which was wild, But you can still go back and play it now, and you'd be going in blind too, so it would almost be like you were playing it for the first time. But there's something to be said, and I suppose you can think this way about Halo too. When the first Halo came out, I went to the midnight release at, I think it was Electronics Boutique. I don't know if GameStop was around at that point, or at least GameStop hadn't bought EB yet. But it's like 2001. The Xbox was just coming out. It's a midnight release at Electronics Boutique. There's a line all the way down the hallway at the mall of people waiting for their Xboxes. And when you went in to get it, you could pick 3 games, right? And I picked some NFL Fever game, some racing video game I don't remember the name of, and Halo, of course. And I come home and I hook up this Xbox to my giant like projection TV. No one had like flat screen TVs and stuff back then. And I'm sitting in a recliner, and I'd never played a real console that used both joysticks before. The Xbox was kind of unique in that way, right? Like the N64 had one joystick in the middle, and before that, you had like the Super Nintendo or the Sega Genesis controllers, which just had a 4-button directional pad and like 2 buttons on the side. So using 2 joysticks to control, like what way you're moving and what way you're looking, was something completely foreign to like every gamer at that point. That wasn't a thing. So I boot Halo up and I'm running around and I'm staring at the ceiling, and then I'm running around staring at the floor, and I was having a really hard time, moving with one joystick and then looking first-person shooter with my gun with the other joystick. And I remember how beautiful the game was, right? We finally get to the planet and you're in the back of a warthog and you're shooting banshees as they're flying over you, and it just looked amazing. There was nothing like it. It was jaw-dropping. I called my friend up, and this is on a rotary dial telephone, with a landline, and I got my phone in my ear, and I'm like, "Are you seeing this shit?" Because he got it the same night. And if you go back now and you watch a video of original Halo 1, it looks like shit, right? It's all pixelated. It's like frickin' 640p resolution. It's awful. Master Chief's like a green blob here, and the Warthog's like a kind of gray blob with four wheels. It looks terrible. But at that time, that night, that day that it came out, I don't think I'd seen a video game that graphically had blown me away as much as Halo did. And it's hard to recreate, right? It's hard to bring yourself back. Even if you were born in 2006 and you go to play the first Halo on an emulator at home, you're not going to get the same experience because, like, we've seen graphics, we've seen what we can do these days. We're seeing Blu-rays and 4K HD streams, and you're playing these crazy, graphically complex games like Crysis and Cyberpunk, and even these modded Skyrims people have that just look like real life, like you could reach through your screen and touch the tree that you're seeing on your monitor. But when it came out, when it was original, there was nothing like it. Like Halo blew me away. So even if you do go back to play some of these games, you have to consider that you have that handicap, right? That you've seen modern games and modern graphics. Well, thank you, Kilo. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, I'm doing the Morrowind into Oblivion, but I don't know if you've heard of this game. It's called Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, and it's kind of a Neo meets Sekiro. It's like almost like a Souls-like game that's based in the Dynasty Warriors universe. And I bought it when it came out, but I only put about 20, 22 hours into it. I didn't have a whole lot of time, and I got distracted with other things. So I think I'm going to start a Let's Play with that maybe tomorrow or Thursday. So I'll probably be streaming that as well if you want to come by and watch me die 400 times in an extremely difficult game. But I'm happy to have you. I always like it when viewers swing by. On these late night, especially Morrowind streams, I don't normally have too many people. There's just two or three. There aren't a whole lot of people looking to watch Morrowind on Twitch, Whereas when I stream some other more popular, more modern games, I'll have 20, 30, 40 viewers. And it's a little bit rowdier in here, when I'm playing like Elden Ring or something. But with Morrowind, it's a unique crew that comes by. So I appreciate everybody that clicks on a Morrowind stream, right? I automatically like you. If you're the kind of person to be sitting at home at midnight, going through Twitch and saying, you know what I want to watch? I want to watch The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. You're automatically one of my favorite people, so thank you for stopping by. Alright, so we're going to Tel Brenora. One of the hard parts about Morrowind, you'll find if you end up picking up this game, Kilo, is that fast travel isn't really a thing. Here's the crazy-ass map that Morrowind has, and if we want to go somewhere, we have to find out how to travel there. So Tel Mora is up here, maybe? Yeah, it's right here. Tel Mora's on this island, and we're all the way down here. So I'm going to go down to the docks and see if I can ferry myself over there with a boat. And you just kind of have to figure out pretty quickly in Morrowind how to navigate the world, how to use the various fast travels that do exist in the world to get to where you want to go. It's tough. And you can save yourself a lot of time and a lot of running if you can figure out how you want to get from point A to point B using the systems that are in the game. So travel, and this one does go to, I think he said Tel Brenora, right? So there's also a journal. You have to consider too that Morrowind was made a long time ago, before there were little, arrows at the top of your screen that showed you where to go for every quest. I actually think that's one of the weaker parts of modern RPGs, not just Skyrim. That not only can you fast travel everywhere, but there's a little HUD at the top of your screen that shows you exactly where you need to go. Not Morrowind. You get this dusty, ratty old, several hundred-page journal, and you gotta figure it out, right? So this quest here is in Tel Brenora. It doesn't say where. It says it's in a Telvanni tower in Tel Brenora, so we're gonna have to find it. But at least we can take a boat there for 31 gold, which isn't too bad.
Your actions precede you, Outlander. I've heard good things about you.
This is also heavily modded, Kilo. If you were to buy Morrowind and just start playing it, just install it and start playing it, your Morrowind would not look like this. This has 196 mods running on it, just to make it slightly more modern. So here's a Telvanni tower here. I don't know what's going on outside. I don't really want to get involved with whatever they're doing. Tel Brenora, perfect. And the guy we're looking for is named Felon Marion. I hate the inside of these towers because they're very difficult to navigate, because I'm playing an orc, which is a very tall character. I'm like 6 foot tall, and I have this giant glass helmet on too, so I'm just very bulky. I have this big shield, and as you can see, these doorways are very small, right? It's 2/3 the size of my character, and inside, it's not much bigger, and you have to levitate through the various maze-like tunnels inside of the tower, and I find them very difficult to navigate. So it might be tough to find our way around here. I'm going to go ahead and put my levitate spell on because we're definitely going to need it. Maybe we can ask the bartender
Please, have a look around.
where this guy is. We are not given the option. It's not one of the dialogue options. So we're gonna just have to search in here. It's gonna be a badass looking dude with a giant staff. Interesting. A trapped, locked level 15 door. Okay, we're gonna have to blast that lock open. And then we'll take this probe and we'll equip that in our main hand. And we disarmed the trap, so hopefully that doesn't kick our ass. We'll open the door. And there's a lock level 50 chest inside, so we need a much stronger open lock spell. And there's 54 gold. Not much of a reward for that. That was a lot of work for 50 gold. Can we go up? We cannot. Okay. Let's go across here. So this looks like a bit of a dead end. Yeah. This is not the place we want to be, I don't think. Let's go back outside. Oof, it's bright. Let's see if there's another entrance. Maybe over here. There is. Lower tower. Alright. Let's let our eyes adjust. This guy? Yeah. No, Drennis Tellman. That's not it. Felon Marion. Okay. Look at her. She's got full chitin armor. Looks like she had a few too many plastic surgeries. Golden door. We can barely fit through these tunnels. Lower dungeon. Tower dungeon. Okay. Whoa. Okay. I'm gonna get you. Oh, you hit me. Dead. Woo! Look at that fireball. God damn. Maybe we can hit him with a spirit knife from ranged. I don't want to get too close to him. Okay. So projectiles in this game do have collision. And what happened is I shot my spirit knife at him, and he shot the fireball. And they collided. Which is a very good trade for him, because those are very expensive for me to cast. $269 gold, alright. This is a creepy little dungeon they have down here, but I don't believe the person we're looking for is down here. I think he's a retainer for House Telvanni. He's going to be in some place that's prominent. He's going to be standing next to a Telvanni lord, or he's going to be guarding something of great importance. Oof, bright. Let's keep going up. Molimo of Cloud Rest. Interesting name. So this is the upper tower. And this is promising.
Why do you Outlanders think you can bother anyone?
Look at that
you
helmet.
please?
Are you running any major game-changing mods? Nice Telvanni Tower, just about how I pictured them in my head. Most of the mods I'm running are graphical in nature. I have 196 mods running, and I have tried not to change too much about the game in terms of its mechanics, because what's the point, right? If I want to play Morrowind, I want to play Morrowind, not a game that changes how the game essentially works. I wanted mods that updated the graphics so that it didn't feel like I was playing a 23-year-old game. Obviously, it's not beautiful, but whatever. Um, I'd say the biggest game-changing mods that I have equipped are some dialogue mods that change some quests. They add some quests to the game, and they change a lot of the dialogue that a lot of quest givers have, just to introduce more lore and atmosphere into the game. That's a big game-changing mod. And then I have mana regeneration, which you probably noticed just now when I cast a couple spells. And then my mana came back. I have 365 mana, which is a long story. I have intellect, as you can see, fortify attribute intellect on all of my gear. I've enchanted it to get as much mana as possible. But you do not have passive mana regeneration in Morrowind. Mana is very difficult. Morrowind is a lot like an old Dungeons and Dragons game, where you have to do short and long rests in order to regain your mana. And that's punishing, because you cannot rest anywhere there's enemies nearby. So if you go into some dungeon, you cast 3 spells, you're out of mana. Now you're screwed, right? You have to have mana potions that you can drink, right? But the ingredients to make mana potions are extraordinarily rare in Morrowind. Comberry is one of them, and that's everywhere. But the other ones are either void salts or frost salts, which means you have to kill very high level Dremora or Daedra in order to make mana potions. So mana is very punishing in Morrowind. So what I did is I installed a mod that gives Morrowind the Oblivion style mana regeneration. It's based on your willpower. With 100 willpower, you get essentially 1% of your mana per second, so it takes about a minute and a half to regenerate your mana pool. A lot of people would consider that highly cheating and not in the spirit of Morrowind, but I think the fact that Morrowind doesn't have mana regeneration is extraordinarily punishing and really limits a lot of class viability. So I would recommend, if you were going to download a couple mods to change the gameplay itself, download a mod that introduces a mana regeneration mechanic, or else you're going to really struggle to cast spells. You're going to have very few that you can cast, and then you have to go run outside of the dungeon and rest for 6 hours to get your mana back. That's also how it is with Daggerfall, by the way. But in Daggerfall, it almost didn't feel as punishing, because you had to rest after every fight in Daggerfall anyway, because you were pretty much out of health. So, that is one of the big game-changing mods that I have, mana regeneration. But everything else is almost strictly graphical. I love their enchanted helmets they all have.
Find someone else to bother?
He's got this weird, almost like pig, it almost looks porcine, Telvanni helm. And she's got this super weird one with tusks coming off of it. I'm sure they all have their own unique individual names. Do you think you could play Vanilla Morrowind enjoyably nowadays? Yes. Yes, absolutely. But you do have to put yourself in the mindset of, this is a janky 23-year-old game, and you have to work around the jank. I would highly suggest you watch 1 or 2 of my first videos in this Let's Play series to give you a better introduction to the game and how you might start. For example, there's weapon skills in this game, like say Axe. When you start your character and you're level 1, your weapon skill is going to be very low. It might be 10, 15. You are not going to hit anything. Every attack in Morrowind is based on a dice roll that gives you a number as to whether your attack is successful or not. Oblivion changed this because it was very unpopular, and of course Skyrim doesn't have this. But if your axe skill is, say, 20, and you have a big axe, you're going to swing and swing and swing and swing at the enemy. You are never going to hit them. They're going to kill you, and you're going to be very frustrated because you're not able to do any damage. Building your character in terms of your race and class and what your major and minor skills are is imperative for your early game success. And you have to keep that in mind if you're going to play just bone stock vanilla Morrowind. You need to, I think, do a little bit of reading first, or I think you're going to get frustrated, and a lot of players hit that wall very early, level 1, level 2, and then they don't want to play anymore. Understandable. The game is extraordinarily difficult at the early levels. This was back when game developers did not hold your hand. There was nobody there looking out for you in terms of the difficulty of this game. So you had to figure things out, you had to really suffer through it, and early game Morrowind is extraordinarily punishing. But yes, I could enjoyably play a bone stock vanilla Morrowind. Yeah, sure. In fact, some of the jankiest stuff is in the vanilla Morrowind. The more mods you add, like there's a huge Morrowind patch. It's a mod that patches all the various bugs and stuff that is in the game. It's one of the largest mods that exists for Morrowind, and frankly, one of the most important ones. I believe the patch is up to something like 18,000 lines of code it changes. It's a massive patch because there's just so much broken about original Morrowind. Welcome to Bethesda, right? It's just the same now in modern day. And that takes away a lot of the jank of the game that could be even beneficial to you. For example, soul gems, and I don't have any in my inventory right now, were wildly overvalued in original Morrowind. You fill a greater soul gem with some random ass enemy, and you can sell for 20,000 gold and break the game's economy instantly. As well as alchemy. You could make alchemy loops where you could make fortify intellect potions and just keep making them one after another. Drink it, make another one, drink it, make another one. And you could make alchemy products that are not only worth 100,000 gold, but can one-shot any item in the game, any enemy. So vanilla Morrowind can be very enjoyable because of some of these kind of janky interactions that allow you to do really fun things. The more you patch Morrowind and the more you mod Morrowind, you lose a lot of this. A lot of the mod authors took it upon themselves to remove some of these clearly unintended interactions from the game. If you're playing bone stock vanilla, man, the world is your oyster. You can break as much of the game as you want to. It's fun. You can make a 100% chameleon spell if you want to and just be... Okay, this is interesting. You can just be invisible. So they have all these Kwama eggs just lining the table, and they made a pathway of Kwama eggs. And there's even Kwama eggs hanging from the ceiling. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Telvanni because they're crazy. They're very eccentric, right? These Telvanni sorcerers are older than the Empire, right? Some of these Telvanni sorcerers are 2,000 or 3,000 years old, and they get very eccentric in their old age in their quests for knowledge and power. I find Telvanni sorcerers particularly to be one of the most interesting lore characters, just because they predate, you know, the Tribunal in a lot of ways, and they go a little nuts. And these older Telvanni guys, they're a little off, right? And this guy has decorated with eggs. There's something going on here with eggs. Can't explain it. Don't know. All right, let's navigate through here. See if we can find this retainer. This guy's got... What is going on here? Theranos chamber. Yeah, let's check that out. Oh, we gotta levitate. Yeah, so here... Welcome to Telvanni Towers 101. Like, this is the hallway. Just goes fucking straight up. Because I guess the Telvanni sorcerers just presume everyone can fly. Because they're 3,000 years old and they can do whatever they want. So we're gonna have to get a levitate. And our character's a little bulky. So it's kind of hard to get up these sometimes. But we're gonna try. We made it. There's still eggs as fixtures here. There's Therana. She has a naked Khajiit slave, sex slave. God damn. The Telvanni are like absolute dogs. They don't care. They are probably the most racist of every faction in, I'd say, the Elder Scrolls period. Telvanni love slaves. 90% of the slave auctions and like slave markets that you can find in Morrowind are Telvanni. They believe in Dark Elf Dunmer supremacy, right? And particularly the beast races, the Khajiit and the Argonian. They've enslaved the hell out of these guys. But she's got gems just around, all around. Diamonds, emeralds, everything. The Wolf Queen Book 4, which I want for my collection. And then she's burning Tribunal books here, which is on brand. And then she's got her Khajiit sex slave here. Let's talk to this guy. What is Orc doing here? Would she let poor Razir go free? No, there is no escape. That's dark. He knows he's a chained sex slave in a Telvanni tower, and he's never going to be able to escape. Now, if there's a key or if there's some way to liberate the slave, they'll tell you about it. But there is no way to save poor Razar. Razar is going to get absolutely ridden hard by Theraina, the 2,000-year-old Dark Elf sorceress, and there's nothing we can do to save his poor ass, as she burns Tribunal books. I wish we could steal this Wolf Queen book, though. I kind of want to try. It's going to be hard, but we have an amulet down here called the Amulet of Shadows, which makes us very invisible. Not completely invisible, but pretty. And we're going to save. And we're going to see if we can get away with stealing this thing. We did. We got it. It's a mercantile skill book too, that's cool. So there's this giant hole of death here in the floor that we have to jump over. And there he is. We found him. Felon Marion. Now that's tough. I mean, welcome to Morrowind. It's hard to find people. And I'm going to sneak here behind him, and we're going to steal his staff, and we're going to steal his book. And we don't even have to kill him. We literally just stole his staff with this chameleon charm, because we're pretty hidden right here, standing behind him. And he didn't know. Let's recall out of here. Oh, not having a quest waypoint. So I have the full-on Morrowind Prophecies book here. It's a couple hundred pages, and this is original. This is 2002. This is before the DLCs even came out. And sometimes, like, I literally have to open it up to find where the fuck I'm even supposed to go. There, not only are there no quest markers in Morrowind, but the quest directions that you're given by quest givers are sometimes literally just wrong. They're intentionally wrong. The developers wanted to add that style of mystery to the game, where they'll tell you, go to this waypoint, travel northeast, and the cave will be on your right, and you follow those directions religiously, and you get there, and there's nothing there. And it's because they've given you the wrong directions, right? Which would happen in real life. People would give you the wrong directions. So yeah, it can be brutal trying to find your way in this game. And sometimes there's no directions at all. I did a quest for the Fighters Guild earlier that said there's this lost egg mine, and there's apparently golden eggs that are being laid inside. I want you to collect 7 of them for a collector and bring them back to me, and I'll give you 10,000 gold. And he says, but this mine has literally never been found. No one knows where it is. It could be mythological. We don't know if it even really exists. And that's it. That was the quest. Just, hey, somewhere here, somewhere in this area, there's there's a hidden mine that probably doesn't exist, that there may be legendary golden eggs inside. Have fun. Come back if you find them. Welcome to Morrowind. Enjoy your stay. Yeah, no, it doesn't hold your hand, man. Okay, let's recall out. So we got his staff. It's a pretty nice staff. Felon's Ebony Staff. Cast when strikes. Shock, Frost, and Fire. 3 to 7 points. Nasty. It hits you with all three spells every time he swings with it. Now the actual base damage is relatively low. 3 to 16 isn't anything to write home about. But up to 21 magic damage on top of it makes it decent. And it's got a decent amount of charge too. So it's not the craziest staff I've seen, but it's a pretty nice one. And I like that it does all 3 types of damage. So if you're encountering an enemy that's highly resistant to one, for example, Nords have a lot of frost resistance, Dark Elves have a lot of fire resistance, or even like an Atronach, right? You're still doing damage with the other damage types. So, neat. Let's head back. Ooh, bright. Blinded me. You've got the staff. Excellent. Tell you what, I'll give you a choice. I really didn't expect you to be able to get that thing. I didn't expect anyone would be able to, honestly. It's yours if you want it, but I can also sell it and give you a cut of the profits. What do you say? I don't know. You want to keep it or you want to sell it? It is cool, but we don't need it. We're not gonna use it, right? It would just junk up our house at home, and we actually have much cooler staves at our player house. So I say, sell it. She wanted me to get it, and I got it. I'll give it to her. Sell the thing. I should be able to get a fair price for it. Here, take this as your cut of the profits. You've done good work here, ringleader. This ring might help you out a bit. Help snatch things from a distance. Oh, is it a telekinesis ring? Ring of far reaching. Yes! I was just thinking in an earlier quest that I wish I had some kind of telekinesis item, because I could have stolen that Grandmaster retort much easier if I had it. Nice. Doesn't have any further jobs. Let's take a look at this ring. Ring of far reaching. 25-foot telekinesis for 5 seconds. It's not crazy. It's not a super long range or a super long duration, but it's something. And it would allow me to steal some stuff in a pinch if I really had to, which you know I'm down with. Okay, so that's the end of her Thieves Guild quests, and frankly, we're almost done the Thieves Guild. We have one quest giver left. If we come down here to our factions, our Thieves Guild is at Ringleader, next rank Mastermind, so we're 2 ranks below the guild leader. Our reputation is still 47, which is interesting. Muthsera. Enwa. Or Fetcher. They call me Fetcher a lot. But yeah, Muthsera is the better greeting. The more formal greeting. Sup, Roy? Welcome aboard. Yeah, I guess it's Vivek time, right? I guess it's time to finish this faction off and become the top of the Thieves Guild. We've become the top of literally everything else. But what I find interesting anyway, what I was saying, is that reputation has been stuck at 47 for this entire faction, which makes sense. The Thieves Guild kind of operates in darkness and shadow, right? So I guess I'm not going to gain a whole lot of fame or reputation from doing thievery, because everything's kept kind of on the down low. So I think that was a nice attention to detail from the developers that these quests, anyway, don't really add to my fame. My reputation has not budged. Alright, yeah, Vivek. The last guild leader for the Thieves Guild is Gentleman Jim Stacy. I do not know where he is. I believe he's at a bookstore in the foreign quarter, but that's actually not saying very much. I don't think we really have to stop home for anything. We have 96 equip load and we're fully repaired, so I think we can just continue on. Don't really have to vendor anything. Alright, we're in Vivek. This Mage's Guild is in the foreign quarter, so we're already close to where we need to be. Can you not stand in the doorway? Yeah, so the new Dragon's Dogma too. I think that's a good point. Is that it's an older style of role-playing game, and I think that's what's appealing to a lot of people. I stuck by right as she walked out. It doesn't have a big arrow above your head pointing you in the direction of your quest. Like, hey, this quest is 234 meters that way, right? You kind of have to figure out a little bit more about the game. Not to the extent of Morrowind, of course, but way better than a lot of these modern, RPGs that, like, literally every quest you track the quest. It shows you exactly where you need to go. You open up your map, and there'll be a little yellow circle right here saying this is where you need to head, and there'll be a little arrow above your head indicating every door you have to go through or every person you have to talk to. It really holds your hand a lot, and this game does not. This game does not. I didn't pick up the new Dragon's Dogma. I was a big fan of the first one. I loved Bitter Black Isle too. I played a lot of the original Dragon's Dogma, but the second one, I was looking at the performance, and 24, 25 frames per second in combat, 30 frames per second in a city. I'm not paying $70 for a 2024 AAA game to have performance that's that bad. Optimize your game. I'm sure Dragon's Dogma 2 is a good game, and I'll pick it up on Steam sale for $20 at some point, right? But I think it's unacceptable. I think 30 frames per second is unacceptable in 2024 for a AAA game. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Really gives the mystery away, especially if you're trying to be stealthy. 100%. I totally agree with you, Roy. I talk about this a lot when I have commentary on role-playing games, right? I think the 3 most important things with role-playing games is grandeur, mystery, and danger. Those are the 3 most important things. You need all of them. You need your world to be grand. If it's not grand, if it feels small, if it feels tight, if it doesn't feel atmospheric, then you've already lost me, right? The second is mystery. You have to have mystery in a game. It's key for any kind of conflict. It's absolutely key for any kind of contention that you're having during quests. The game can't feel solved when you're just getting into it, right? There's no mystery in the game if you pick up a quest and you have a little arrow above your head that tells you exactly where to go every step of the way. That's an action game. That's not a role-playing game at that point, right? If your game is not mysterious, if it's not grand, then you haven't made a world worth spending time in. And the last is danger. A lot of these games are too easy these days, and I don't want to sound like an elitist, right? But like, if there isn't the threat, around every corner that this dungeon could could kill you, you lose a lot of the atmosphere and the immersion really of the game when things are just too easy. In Skyrim, right, there's very little danger. There's no danger in Skyrim. If you're playing on anything except maybe legendary difficulty level, nothing's going to ever really challenge you. And if you've made a really cohesive, optimized build, even on legendary, nothing's going to challenge you, right? It's not a dangerous game. Dragon's Dogma, at least, I think has all three. It has grandeur. It's a big, wide world, and it feels that way. It has mystery, and it has challenge. And I think you need all three of those. The Baldur's Gate game that just came out as well is grand, mysterious, and challenging, at least to some extent. And I think that's why these games have been successful. Elden Ring, too. I can't think of a much grander world. Every time I got to a new zone in that game, I was like, holy shit, there's more game, right? I think my first playthrough was like 150 hours. It's a massive game. And there's a lot of mystery. In fact, if you're not reading some kind of quest guide online, you're not finishing Ranni's quest at all. Like, how are you going to figure that out on your own, you know? And it's relatively challenging depending on what tools you decide to use, depending on what kind of weapon arts or like mimic tier or something along those lines. You can make it pretty easy if you want to, but it can be very challenging if you want to handicap yourself. And so I think that this is important. When you look at the RPGs in modern days that have been very successful, they all have grandeur, mystery, and challenge. And yet we have these RPGs just getting banged out one after another that are just dog shit games that don't seem to be respecting those three, I think, pillars of making a great RPG game. Even if you want to zoom out to, say, MMORPGs like Final Fantasy or World of Warcraft. Like World of Warcraft has not had grandeur, mystery, or challenge in a long time. And I think that's one of the reasons it's failing, right? So, yeah, Morrowind has these things. And I think more often than not, as sad as this commentary is, you have to look backwards to find role-playing games that are built with grandeur, mystery, and challenge in mind. Although there are a couple these days that seem to be shooting for that. There's a few developers that either have the memories or the balls to make a game that has these aspects to it. Something like Starfield, for example, fails on all three counts. It's not grand, it's not mysterious, and it's not challenging. So, it's a bad game. Morrowind, though, is like a workshop in a lot of ways on role-playing game development. Look how pretty Vivek is. Like, look at these cantons, right? If you want to talk just a moment about grandeur, right? Look at these cantons. This city is fucking huge. There are over 400 fully voiced, dialogued, and written NPCs in the city of Vivek. Yeah, Fable was interesting. It was a little cartoony, but the original Fable I thought was cool. I liked that your choices had a lot of consequences, and that's something that Fable really built itself on. That was one of its biggest marketing ploys was, hey, you can be evil, you can be good, but your decisions in the game alter future decisions and options you have in the game, right? And it's weird that that was considered kind of revolutionary at the time, but that's one of the things that Fable really introduced that I was very on board with. I liked the original Fable. But look at Vivek, right? These cantons are super atmospheric. There's nothing like it. Like, think of another game that has architecture that even looks a little bit like this. It's crazy. It's built on the water. It's freaking huge. It's actually in the shape of a cross, although you can't really see it from here. Vivek made his temple at the very bottom, where there's an actual moon that not only he stopped this meteor from colliding with the world, but he's holding it up with his power, his meditation even today. Although I hate Vivek, and we could talk a lot about how he's a giant cock. Either way, look how atmospheric Vivek is. Look how beautiful this city is. If I took a screenshot of this and I were to post it online, anyone who's ever played Morrowind would know exactly what it is. Instant recognition. I feel like I could take a screenshot of something in Starfield, and even people that have played that game wouldn't necessarily go, is that Starfield? Or that's definitely Starfield. I know what that is, right? They think, is that Mass Effect 4? Or, what, Mass Effect Andromeda? What is that, right? It could be a ton of different games. Morrowind is uniquely atmospheric in its art direction, in its language, in its culture. People don't make games like this anymore, right? And I think Vivek City here is just a beautiful example of the kind of grandeur and mystery that the old RPGs had. You can even see Ebonheart off in the distance there, because I have an improved draw distance with my mods. But yeah, just the cantons of Vivek are so fucking cool. And is it a maze? Yeah. Can you get lost in here? 100%. If you get a quest to go to, say, St. Olm's Canton down here, you have to even know which one that is. Then you have to know what tier it's on, and then you have to navigate all the inner workings to try to find what door you need. Is that annoying? Potentially. But it's, 2001 gaming, and that's why we're playing it. But yeah, Vivek is gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful city, and there's not a whole lot like it elsewhere. All right, so we're looking for a bookstore. Here's case in point. We're looking for a bookstore in the foreign quarter. So we're going to go to the Upper Wasteworks. I like these little paper lanterns too. They're very Asiatic almost. There's like a very oriental vibe to this. And I love the Ordinators wearing their Indoral armor. Let's see if we can find an Ordinator for you guys. Yeah, look at this. Very, very cool. And there's a lot of lore around this armor. If you're wearing a set of this armor in this city, they will kill you on sight, because it's a religious distinction to wear this armor, to wear this helmet, to wear this garb. You have to be ordained by the temple, and they have a strong spiritual connection, not only to their job as protectors of the city of Vivek, but also as guardians of the tribunal, and I mean that in a very religious sense. This regalia that he's wearing here isn't just armor. It's not just, oh, I'm going to put this chest piece on, so if somebody shoots me with an arrow, it doesn't go through my heart. This armor is a statement of their faith and what they've done, the pilgrimages they've done and the sacrifices they've made. It's very monastic, and it's just so cool. Not only does it look fucking awesome, I love the look of it, right? The Ordinator armor is incredible, but there's a lot of lore that goes into this armor and what an Ordinator is and who they are and how they serve. A lot of modern day RPGs don't have this kind of depth to them. Dragon's Dogma doesn't have this kind of depth to it either, right? But Morrowind does. And you can look at a guard walking through a city, and you can write a 4,000-page, essay on who they are, what they represent. Ordinators are a great example of how cool this city is. Vivek is an awesome city. Also, Ordinators are equipped with ebony weapons, so don't fuck with them. They will beat you down. You have to be a very powerful character to go toe-to-toe with an Ordinator. Now, obviously mine is at this point. I'm level 43, but earlier in the game, ooh, scary. Alright, so we're looking for a bookstore. We know it's a bookstore somewhere. There doesn't appear to be a bookstore anywhere in the Upper Wasteworks, so we're going to travel further down into the Lower Wasteworks. And we're going to check some of these doors. And everybody's going to stand right in the middle of where we're going. So there's an apothecary. This is an alchemist. That's Jabosh's rare book, so that is a bookstore, but not the one we're looking for.
Hard woman, all right.
Do you have something to say, Outlander?
We're looking for a different bookstore. That's the Black Shulk Corner Club. Let's see if we can jump down here.
Citizen.
The Canal Works.
Champion and legionary.
Fletcher. So this guy makes arrows. I started this game today. I was struggling so hard to kill a rat for some reason. I mean, I could explain to you why you were struggling to kill a rat if you'd like, Lalo. But yeah, it's your weapon skill. If your weapon skill of whatever weapon you're attacking with isn't at least 40, I would say, you're going to miss almost every swing on the enemy. So when you're making your character, you have to be very careful to make sure that you have a weapon skill in your major skills. Ideally, you want it to be a weapon skill that you also have bonuses to by your race, right? So Redguards are very good with longswords. Orcs are good with axes. Bosmer have an insane natural disposition for marksmanship for bows and any kind of thrown projectile. You are really screwing yourself real bad if you start a character that is a suboptimal with a weapon skill early in the game. You're not going to hit. You're just going to swing, 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 swing. That rat's just going to keep biting you, and things are going to go real bad for you. So it's weapon skill, that's why you're missing. I could give you a lot of tips if you wanted them, but a lot of people, they want to kind of play blind and figure things out on their own. I will give you this tip. In the city of Balmora, which is right up here, which you can take a Silt Strider to, from Seydenine, which is right down here where you start. There's a giant flea thing at the north of town, and you can pay that guy about 17 gold to come up to Balmora. There's a trader in Balmora called Razir. He's a Khajiit trader. He's right near the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild. He sells weapons called demon weapons. And what they do is if you cast the spell associated with them, they give you a Daedric weapon, which is the most powerful weapon in the game. And since it's a bound weapon, it's conjured, it has 0 weight, which also means it requires 0 fatigue to swing it. It also gives you a Fortify enchantment that gives you 10 additional skill for whatever that weapon is. So if you say had 30, now you have 40, and you can start hitting things. Not only are you going to be hitting things, you're going to be hitting things with 0 fatigue cost, and it's going to be the highest damage essentially you can get with a relatively early game weapon. So I would visit Razir, the trader, and see if you could pick up a demon weapon from him. If you can't afford them, you could always kill Revere. Just saying. Just saying. Not financial advice. But there's a trick for you to get your weapon skill up a little bit. Now I have a bound shield right here. Example, I have a Daedric shield that I've conjured for myself, and it says Fortify block 10 points on self. So my block skill is 87 instead of 77. You can do the same thing with one of those demon weapons. Yeah, sure, of course. You can find the Ebony Mine near Caldera. You can come to, I believe it's the Lalu Canton in Vivec, tell him that you found the mine, and he'll give you a Daedric weapon of your choice. But there's 2 problems with that. 3, potentially. 1, you have to know where the mine is. 2, you have to know where the guy is. 3, it's very heavy weapons, and that's going to hit your equipment load quite hard early in the game. And 4, it does nothing for your weapon skill. So this person is not hitting a rat because their weapon skill is too low. Having a Daedric weapon is not going to help with that. They're going to have a very nice, extremely heavy weapon, and they're still not going to be hitting the rat. So that's why I recommend the demon weapons to the new characters. Any kind of bound or demon weapon is going to give you a lot more mileage. Let me link you something here that might help you. And I linked this to another person earlier, but Lalo, I will respond to you here. Click to reply. That is my Let's Play for this playthrough. And the first 3 episodes, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, are going to help you tremendously if you're going to pick up Morrowind. As I told another viewer, it's not supposed to be a walkthrough. I didn't make it as a guide to Morrowind, but it can serve as one. And I would go through and watch maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes of that, and it's going to give you a much better introduction to Morrowind and how to really get your character started. Not only in terms of character building, but also what you do at the beginning of the game, how to get some easy gold at the beginning of the game, how to train, how weapon skills work, things like that. So again, it's not a guide, it's not a walkthrough, but if you want to see what I did at the beginning of this playthrough in order to make the introductory levels of this character a little bit easier, I would watch the Let's Play. You can fast forward through it, skip whatever you want. Yeah, so Orc is an interesting choice. If you want to do any kind of magic, it's a terrible choice. But if you want to be some kind of fighter, it's a good choice. I went with destruction and restoration and alchemy and alteration and enchant because I'm a masochist and hate myself. So I'm playing an Orc caster, but you don't have to. So here's a problem. We've gone around Vivec a couple times, and I have not found this goddamn bookstore yet. We found Shabash's rare books, but I haven't found the other bookstore. There's an enchanter up there, which is interesting. I didn't even see that. There's a corner club. There's a Fletcher. But yeah, there's no other rare bookstore here. So I'm wondering if it's maybe somewhere else or if it's outside. So yeah, Creeper is a thing that some people might consider cheesy. However, there's a lot of other ways to make money, right? You don't have to use Creeper. Nalkara, the alchemist in Balmora, has 3,000 gold in her inventory, and alchemy, which mine is 100, is very easy to level up. You can essentially buy the materials from the alchemists, and then just make the potions right in front of their face, sell them back the potions you made for more than the materials you bought, and just infinitely raise your alchemy. And towards the end of it, your potions are going to be worth, 110, 140, 1 gold each. So you make 40 of those bad boys, sell them to her, there's your 3,000 gold. Then you can wait about a day and go back, and all her gold will be back, right? So, yeah, you don't have to use Scamp or the Talking Mudcrab Merchant or anything like that. You don't have to be cheesy. I would recommend it. It's easier. It's in the game. The developers intended for you to use it. But if you want to limit yourself, there's plenty of other ways to make early gold if you want to. Alright, so I'm going to look it up in the handy-dandy book real quick, because I don't know where this guy is. I know he's in the Vivec Foreign Quarter, in the back of a bookstore, but I have not been able to find the bookstore, even though I've run all the way around the Vivec Foreign Quarter. So, where is this guy? Let's see. You were a great salesman, but I only have a shitty MacBook, so I'd probably be forced to play vanilla on my Series X. We'll definitely check out the YouTube series and read up so I don't get frustrated. We'll also keep the demon weapons guy in mind. Thanks for asking, Lalo. Yeah, that's a completely legitimate, ethical way to start your Morrowind playthrough with a little bit of a leg up. So I'd recommend that. Revere. He's also a good player house too. If you end up killing him, by the way, if you want to kill someone without going to jail for it, you can taunt them until they attack you. It can sometimes take quite a bit of taunting, but eventually they'll get sick of your shit and they'll start throwing punches at you. Once they hit you, it's game on. Murder them. And you can use his house as a player house right in the middle of Balmora. You can stash your stuff there. There's plenty of storage. There's a bed you can sleep in, as well as all those demon weapons. So again, I'm not telling you to kill Revere, but you know, if you were to slip outside or something, you know, it gets icy in Balmora. I don't know. Okay, so this doesn't tell you where Gentleman Jim Stacy is. It just says Stacy offers 3 different sorts of quests. Cool. Where is this guy? The book doesn't say. Thanks for the follow, Roy. Appreciate it. Okay. Gentleman Jim Stacy. Let me see. Let's go back and see if we can find something about him, because I know I asked, but maybe it's not in my journal. Oh, by the way, speaking of devil weapons, there was a devil Tonto that I got for a Thieves Guild quest. Yeah, and this is Perseus Mercius, who's the Fighters Guild. So nowhere in my journal does it say where this guy is. Dude, I think it gets over 400. I haven't played Morrowind in about 20 years, so I'm just kind of getting back into things myself, but I think the journal goes pretty far. As you can see, I'm on day 436. Over a year. I gave Caius Casatus over in Balmora those the orders from the Emperor, and he's like, why don't you go and gain a few levels and maybe do a little bit of adventuring, give yourself a nice backstory as like a freelance adventurer, and then come back and start the main quest. And I'm like, okay. And I've just pieced out for a year. I just fucking left him there. It's got to be here somewhere. Maybe it's like underneath. Memory. You mostly just remember things. I do try to, so the journal has another interesting functionality that a lot of people don't know. You can hit the bookmark button down here, you can go over to quests, and it keeps track of the quests that you have not yet completed. So one of the things I do is just try to kind of, when I pick up a quest, I try to just complete it. Some of these are actually quests that I have completed and they're just not gone out of my journal because Morrowind is janky, but there is a way to kind of keep track of what quests you're kind of working on, right? Like this abused bard one is very interesting. I have to find a fat loot, which is definitely a play on words for him, and I haven't found it yet. But either way, you can keep some track of it with this quest thing in here. And then topics, I could look up maybe Gentleman Jim Stacy and see if he's in here. He's right there. See, right here. Angoth the Jeweler. Look for him in Vivek. You'll find him in the back room of Samine Fraulene's bookstore in the Foreign Quarter. So I know that he's here somewhere. He's in the Foreign Quarter. He's in the back of a bookstore. I can't find the fucking bookstore, but at least my journal tells me where he is. And then you can just go back to here, and now you're back to your 100-and-something page journal. But no, Morrowind, it gives the player a lot of credit, perhaps too much credit. This game definitely presumes that you can keep track of what you're doing. Maybe the bookstore's down here. Is that it? Maybe.
Come on in. You won't find a better bargain in town.
Lock level 10. Maybe I have to pick this? There's an ordinator right there, though. Ooh, this is going to be dangerous. I should save first. Lesser open log. Yeah, we're going to save. Another tip, make sure you have numerous saves, because Morrowind likes to corrupt save files, and you don't want to lose a 200-hour Let's Play to a save issue. No, there's nobody back here. Shit. So I just broke into this poor woman's shop. She had a beefy locked chest, and there's nothing inside of it. Bunch of armor in here. Another tip, since I have it open anyway, you can see how I alphabetized all my spells by school. A for alteration, C for conjuration, D for destruction, I for illusion, R for restoration. I'd recommend you do something like that, or else your spellbook could get a little nasty. And you can alphabetize them by making your own spells and then naming them whatever you want. So I'll do like A dash, you know, whatever it is. You certainly don't have to, but I found it handy because it can get crazy when your spellbook is very long and you're looking for things. I didn't know there were shops down here. Tomb, no, not what we want. Wooden door. What the fuck? Is it a shrine? It's an Imperial Cult altar. No shit, what are you doing down here? You sell stuff. You train, which is interesting. Gentleman Jim Stacy. I don't know about him. Yeah, figured you'd say that. You're a priest and he's a thief. I get it. Do you have to read a lot in this game? Yes. Yeah, this game has a lot of dialogue. Definitely. There's some voice acting, but I mean it's a 2001 game, right? So a lot of it is reading. The old RPGs are generally text-based. Haha! Samin Frelene, bookseller. Generally, I just like reading even the books that are in the game, right? So there's over 200 books in the game, like this one right here, Brown Book 3E426, and they're all full books. Like you can read these books. And sometimes I just read the books. The Wolf Queen is an awesome series, right? It's an 8-part series in the game. A lot of these books were originally written by testers during Dragonfall. So these books weren't always even written by developers. They were sometimes written by fans that were authors or had some kind of writing background. And this is an 8-part series. So it's about, you know, a 60-page novel in the game. And the Wolf Queen is very, very, very interesting. And her name is Potama. She was actually the ruler of Skyrim for some time. She actually ruled Skyrim from, what's it called? What's the name of that city in the very north? Game at Dinner, yeah. The Horror of Castle Zir, The Cake and the Diamond. There's some really, really good books in this game. But yeah, if reading is your thing, there's a lot of reading in Morrowind. Solitude, that's it. I thought it was Solace for some reason. No, it's Solitude. Potema built Solitude essentially and ruled as the High Queen of Skyrim. They're the only queen Skyrim's ever had. She's a really, really cool historical lore figure. She ended up kind of falling into necromancy and becoming a very powerful necromancer. But even back in Daggerfall, there's books called The Wolf Queen, which was her nickname after, you know, her fall from power, her fall from grace. And it's a really interesting story that gives you a lot of cool background about one of the more interesting lore characters in the game. A Nordic necromancer that became so powerful she became queen of all of Skyrim. The rare books. I think I've gotten 3 of the 8 now. But yeah, if you're so inclined, Lola, you can read all kinds of things in this game. For some reason, I thought Samin would be a woman. I'm actually surprised that Samin is a man. Lock level 65. I like that because it's presuming that you can get through a lock level 65 to get to the highest level of the Thieves Guild. Crazy Legs Arantamo. Good old Crazy Legs. And this is Gentleman Jim Stacy. Hello, sir. Honor Among Thieves. Interesting book you can also read. Some nice clothing. Got a nice chest there. Trapped. Alright, so here we are. At the very end of the Thieves Guild, essentially. He is not only the guild master, but the final quest giver for the faction. I may have jobs for you, but you might be interested in something different. The Bal Malag Mur. Let's go with jobs first. Can you advance me? You cannot. A fellow thief and member of the guild has gone missing. Would you track down Nads Theron for me? The dude's name is Nads. Yeah, sure. He used to hang out at the Elven Nations Corner Club here in Vivek, Lalu compound. He was supposed to deliver a key to me. Find out what happened to him. If he's dead, as I fear, find his key and bring it to me. So I'm going to have to ask around about Nads. See if anybody knows anything. You don't know anything about Nads. He doesn't have anything. Let's read the background of Crazy Legs Aaron Tomo. My first solo. Is this a side or a main quest? These are side quests. I remember after I finished Skyrim playthroughs back in the day, I would walk my dog, go to the taverns, and sit by my spouse and read the books. Dude, it's perfect. It's so immersive, right? Get yourself into the game. Let's see what's up with Crazy Legs over here. My first solo, I was working the lock on a small chest in a merchant's loft. The trap triggered a shock spell that startled me, causing me to knock over some glassware and alert the guards. My colleagues were observing my progress while hidden behind the crates. Oh, and look at this. It's a typo. Behinds some crates. There's an extra S there. That is number 4. It's my 4th typo in this Let's Play. On the opposite side of the street, when they saw me running from the building with a wildly awkward gait, they laughed so hard that they almost revealed themselves. They were the ones to christen me. Crazy Legs. Interesting. So that's how he got his name. Alright, let's go find Nads in the Lalu Canton. We could... Yeah, we'll run out this way. We also just kind of have to familiarize ourselves with Vivek a little bit more so we can find our way back here. I had no idea he'd be in the sewers. At a bookstore. I guess that makes sense. The Morrowind is too, I believe. I also don't remember which canton is House Lalu. I think it's the one with the... Yeah, you see the scale right there? Like the commerce scale? I think that's House Lalu. So instead of running all the way over there, why don't we just levitate? I believe I can fly. There is, but it's not an action-based game, no. The Elder Scrolls games, as they went on, became more action-based, right? Daggerfall was like almost a tabletop RPG, practically, right? It was all kind of text and dice rolls. And then Morrowind is a little bit more combat. You have a shield, you can block, you get to swing your sword, but it's not combat-oriented, right? The combat is a means to an end. Oblivion has a stronger combat focus than Morrowind does, but it loses a lot of the atmosphere and storytelling. And then finally, Skyrim is an action RPG, all out. It's mostly about the action. So no, I'd say every... There we go. I'd say every Elder Scrolls game has been more action, less RPG than the previous ones.
Yes, it is.
But there's action in Morrowind. There's a lot of relatively tough fights, actually. Lalu General Goods.
Your
Weaponsmith.
actions proceed.
No. Pawnbroker. No. Lalu Alchemist. No.
Do you have something to say?
Curio Manor. No. Where's the Elven Nations Corner Club? There it is. It's the last one we check, of course.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
So we need to maybe ask the bartender.
Welcome, Outlander.
And I'm going to charm her.
Special prices just for you today.
Because I'm an orc and she's not going to like me because they're racist. All of the Dark Elves are super racist. So I'm going to use a spell I made called Charming Touch. Charm 30 points for 2 seconds. And that gives me enough time to charm them and then open up their dialogue box. And the disposition is saved at that point. So they'll tell me everything I want to know. I would recommend making one of those. Boom. 100% disposition. So this woman loves me. She'd marry me on the spot. And she's going to tell me anything I want to know about Nads. Nads Theron. Alright, I'll tell you just one thing. I saw Nads Theron talking with Arvama Rothri the last day he was here. Haven't seen him in a while, though. Check over in the St. Dellen Canton, South Side Canal Works. That's where he lives. Okay. So, it's a bit of a wild goose chase. She's sending me somewhere else, but that's okay. Actually, I have a trick. To get to the temple very quickly, just use any Almsivi intervention spell, scroll, or amulet you have. Boom, and it teleports you to the temple, here in Vivek. Just make sure you put your old necklace back on. And I believe this is... What did she say? She said... St. Dellen Canal Works South 2. He's dead, though. Oh, he's dead. I know this place. I recommend it sometimes for new players as a player house. It's this one. Nope, that's South 1. It's this one. And there he is. Stone cold dead. Yep. So this, by the way, is a good player house for a new player. Because it's not owned by anyone. It was owned by good old Nads here, and Nads is dead. So, yeah, you can take this house as your own. There's a bed you can sleep in. There's quite a few storage options. You can clean this whole table off, and you can display things that you want to display. And it's very easy to get back here. You just use that Om Civi intervention spell, and you're right outside your front door. So, I often recommend this as a player house for new players. However, Nads is dead as fuck, and we need to see if he has a key on him. And he doesn't. That's a problem. I wonder if we've already taken it. Yikes. It's possible that earlier in this playthrough, I always take the one from the Khajiit in Pelagiad, yep. Or Revere, the Khajiit in Balmora. That's another good one. I always do the Council Club, because you end up killing everyone in there anyway, and it's huge, and multi-layered, and tons of storage, and it's a fucking awesome player house. Also, deep into the Great Houses, you get your own. Like the House Lalu quest chain, you build a really beautiful estate on the southern Balmora River. Gorgeous. But that's late game. Most players aren't doing that too early. Yeah. I don't know, do I need the key? Do I need to go back to my house to see if I have it? I don't know what key it is. That's a bit of a problem. I must have taken the key off this corpse earlier in this playthrough. Shit. Alright, so, we have a couple options. Maybe it's named. Maybe the key has a name. Maybe it's called, like, Nad's Key or something like that. And if that's the case, we're totally good. I also play the Elder Scrolls MP with scripts to reset inside cells, save for a small set of player houses. Yeah. I think cells generally reset after a month outside, but inside cells generally never reset. Okay, so let's go down here, grab our box, and see if we can find Nad's Key in here. We got a lot of Daggett keys. Ned Hellas Key. Nad's Theron's Key. Thank Jesus, it's named. A micro MMO with a script. I like that. I'm down with it. Sounds like a lot of work, though. Nad's Theron's Key. Okay, so, we got the key. By the way, this is the player house, everyone. This is my library with all my books that we're going to read at some point. And this is my alchemy chest. And this is my chest of random shit I don't want to throw out. This is my barrel of lockpicks, probes, and armorer's hammers. And then I have everything all arranged that I think is cool. Like the Ebony Mail, or the Lord's Mail, or the Boots of the Apostle, or the Mask of Clavicus Vile, or the Magnus Staff. So, that's the 2-cent tour. Let's go back to Vivek. You know, that's sometimes the problem. You spend 40 hours modding a game and then 17 minutes playing it. I think we're all guilty of that on some level. I think everyone's done that at some point. That's one of the reasons I did not use OpenMW for this Let's Play, is because I find it very tedious to mod. Whereas base Morrowind, the original engine, very easy to mod. So I opted to play on the base Morrowind engine. Is it jankier? Yes. Does it work? Sure. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Yeah. It's a lot of running to get back to Gentleman Jim Stacy. He's kind of a pain in the ass to get to.
Is someone watching?
I should honestly probably just mark him. I think this is the wrong side, actually. Maybe it's this side. Nope. Nope. Yep. Got it. This is weird that it's his own cell.
Stay as long as you like. It would be a privilege to talk with you.
This is the right key. This buys us some time in our war with the Kimona Tong. Keep an eye on Arvama Rothri. I believe she may be working for the Kimona Tong herself. And here's a little something for you. 500 gold. Yeah, we know Rothri killed him. For sure. Alright, the Fighters Guild is betraying the Empire for the Kimona Tong gold. Perseus Mercius, the old guildmaster in Alderun, might be willing to help us fight. He is. Perseus Mercius is the steward of the Guild of Fighters in Alderun. He used to be the master before the Kimona Tong got involved. I believe he will help fight the Kimona Tong. Go speak with him and listen to what he has to say. Report back to me with any information. Okay. We can go to him. He's in Alderun. Easy peasy. If this stupid mage isn't standing in this doorway. The hardest boss in the game. This guy right here.
How about sharing the wealth?
Ah, we got by. Ha!
How fare thee, friend?
Oh yeah. So Kimona Tong is very different than the Morag Tong. The Kimona Tong is the mafia. It's a completely criminal organization. It's just a bunch of thieves, scoundrels, murderers, smugglers, right? The Kimona Tong is 100% straight up the Morrowind mafia. And they have their fingers in all the little pies, right? Whereas the Morag Tong is a completely legal organization. It's a really cool organization. It's historic for the Dark Elves. There's a strong cultural element to the Morag Tong, and it's about honor, really. And every assassination the Morag Tong does is pursuant to a legal writ, W-R-I-T, where essentially you get a writ of assassination. The government issues them. They essentially say, hey, this person deserves the death penalty. They issue the writ of execution, and a Morag Tong professional will carry out that hit. Yeah, well, I mean, frankly, that's Morrowind for you. The Kimona Tong are very xenophobic, but so are the Telvanni, probably even more so. But yeah, no, the Kimona Tong are raging racists. They sure are. But no, the Morag Tong and the Kimona Tong are very, very different. The Morag Tong is legal, and the Kimona Tong isn't. And that's not the end of their dissimilarities. Okay, Perseus Mercius should be down here. There he is. Hello, my brother. The only nice guy in the entire Fighters Guild.
A pleasure to meet you.
Help us fight. So you work for the Thieves Guild too. I'll tell you what. Harundi and Sadrith Mora. Yeah, Harundi used to be my second in command. He's a good man, and he might be persuaded to join your cause. I hesitate to suggest this, but I trust you. Harundi has a lover, a Dunmer, from what I hear. If you find her, you can convince Harundi to join your cause. Idris Fireeye is a good fighter, but there's always been something dark about her. I found out just recently what that was. She's a worshipper of Clavicus Vile. I don't know how you can use this information. I'm sure she can't be blackmailed. I know how. The new master of the Fighters Guild is Sjoring Hardheart. He owes too much Kimona Tong gold to back out now. There's no way you can convince him. You'll have to kill him. Cool, thank you. There's probably a mod. Yeah, there's probably a Kimona Tong mod. Alright, we can head back now. I think that updates our journal with everything we need. And now we go on a series of quests to convince all of these guys to help us fight the Kimona Tong. I think we have to stop at Vivek first. And make our way all the way back to Gentleman Jim Stacy. The man, the myth, the legend. I remember how to convince FireEye. It's up here. At the edge of the world, there's a necromancer tower called Aldredania, which I love the name, by the way. And it has a cup inside called the Bitter Cup. And it's a Clavicus Vile item of extreme power. And if you steal it and give it to her, she agrees to join you. So I do remember that. Ha! First try. We found the way. Well, it sounds like Perseus came through after all. I can already think of a way to make use of this. In the meantime, here's some clink in your pockets. Another 500 gold. Thank you, gentlemen.
What did I do to deserve this honor?
Based on what Mercius told you, I think we can win over Idris FireEye if we can find the Bitter Cup. Perseus told us that Idris FireEye worships Clavicus Vile. Perhaps she would betray Hardheart for the Bitter Cup, an artifact sacred to Vile. The Bitter Cup was lost in the ruins of Ald Redania, which is on an island north of the Urshalaku camp. Ah, I already knew it. Way ahead of you, gentlemen. Right, let's head up there. Crack some skulls. So there's no fast way to get there. It doesn't exist. We could go to Cool and run up, and that's probably what we should do. You can go to Dagonfell and run west throughout the Sheogorath region if you want to. I do not. But what we can do is we can take the... And this is what I was saying earlier, Lola, about knowing how to navigate the world. We can take the Siltstrider to Vivek. Just south of the Siltstrider is a boat.
We make a special.
Right down here. You can use this boat to sail. And I believe we could probably take a Siltstrider to Cool, actually. But we can sail up to Hollowed. And then we can sail up to Narmak.
Nice to see you, friend.
Hello. And now we need to go to Nissus or Cool, or Ald Valathi, not sure which. There's a dwarven ruin there that I didn't really know about. It's a pretty little area. The swamp. Cool. Nailed it.
Do you have something to say, Outlander?
And now, we just have to run up to Ald Redania. So, what we're going to do here, hold on to your butts, because this is going to be cheesy. Are you guys ready for the cheese? We're going to cast a custom spell I made, called the Boots of Blinding Speed, which gives me Resist Magicka for 2 seconds. We're going to quickly open our inventory and put the Boots of Blinding Speed on. And we're going to get the speed without being blinded. And then we're going to put on a water walking spell, that's 30 seconds. And we are going to run very fast over the ocean to get to Ald Redania. Would you like some wine with this cheese? Uh-huh. Don't try this at home, kids. Looks like we can land right about there. And then we should be able to travel up that that ramp, and that should bring us right to Ald Redania. At 1,000 miles per hour. Whenever you see a cliff racer, kill it with extreme prejudice. Haha! There we are. We made it. So, one of the first things you're going to want to do is take off these insane boots. I'm also going to take these boots on and off a few times, just to make sure I get the maximum intellect. One more point. Nope. There we go. So a trick, by the way, you'll see that all of my gear has a range of intelligence. Fortify intelligence 1 to 4. Why do I do that? Because every time you equip the item, you will get 1, 2, 3, or 4 intelligence. If you tried to make it a set amount, the maximum you could put on this cuirass is 3. However, if you make the range 1 to 4, and then take it on and take it off over and over again until you hit the 4, you get more intelligence than you could otherwise put on the chest. So whenever you enchant something like this, a constant effect, you want to have a range. So my pants are, my boots are 1 to 3, my helm is 1 to 5, my bracer is 1 to 3, and then just take them on and take them back off again until you get the maximum range of whatever that stat is. It's a kind of cute way of squeezing a little bit more stats out of your gear. Alright, we saved. I don't know where we're gonna fight in here. We're gonna equip our Spirit Knife spell. 2 trapped doors right off the bat. There we go. We disarmed both of the traps. Although we do have to open this one. There's a Bone Lord and a skeleton. Okay. We can lightning bolt this guy. Dead. We can probably electrocute this guy. He's got a lot of health. Oh, there's 2 more Bone Lords on the stairs. Got the electrocute on him. Dead. There is 1 more Bone Lord up the stairs. I don't think we want any of that. We can maybe Spirit Knife him from downtown. Got him. Now we're going to use the pillars to line of sight his fireballs while he dies from that damage over time spell. And he's dead. So one of the things I also do, and you guys certainly don't have to do this, but every time I level, I increase the difficulty. So Morrowind has a difficulty that goes from negative 100 to positive 100. And the game starts at 0, and 99% of people will leave it on 0 the entire time, because it can be a relatively challenging game, and there's no real reason to change it. But I know a lot about the game, and I find that the game can be too easy, because I've been playing, you know, for 20 years, although I haven't actually played it in 20 years. I played it a lot back then, and I know how to build a character, and I know how to make spells and stuff like that. So every time I level, I go back into the settings, and I knock the difficulty up another point. So at level 50, the difficulty will be 50, at level 70, the difficulty will be 70, and I think that keeps the game slightly spicier. You certainly do not have to do that, but I do. What do we got up here? We got a skeletal champion. He's trying to cast a spell on me? Oh, look at that. A silver staff. He got caught on the stairs. Haha. Boom, critical hit. Wow, cool. The vampiric ring, that is badass. Cast when used. Absorb fatigue, absorb health. That is insane. 20 to 30 points a second for 10 seconds? That's nuts. I can absorb 300 health from something? What? Most enemies don't have that much health. That ring is worth 32,000 gold. That is an insane ring. Skeletal War Wizard. What the fuck? Silver Staff of War. That enchantment's nasty. 5 to 11 points. Oof. But this ring. Man, the vampiric ring. That's a cool thing too that you don't see in a lot of modern games, including even a lot of modern Elder Scrolls games, are just like really cool placed items. Everything's just so procedurally generated and random, you don't know when you're going to come across everything. But this Skeletal War Wizard is always going to be here in that spot with that ring. And you could come here at level 1, and if you could kill him, you have a ring that does 300 points of absorb health. Nuts. I'm glad when he cast that at me, he failed. So we have a Grand Soul Gem, very valuable. We'll be taking that. Greater Soul Gem, less valuable. And there's the Bitter Cup. It weighs 10 pounds, is worth 100,000 gold. I wonder if I take it if I'm going to get ganked by something. Let's go ahead and save, just in case this goes horribly. I don't know what happens when I touch it. Pick it up. Do you wish to drink from the cup or to pick it up? Drinking from the cup will improve your best attribute and lower your worst. If you drink, the cup is lost forever. Yeah. Those gauntlets are overpowered. Oh, damn. You didn't make it, homie. So we're done here. We got what we came for. This is interesting. There's a corpse in the water. There's a skeleton trying to swim over to kill me. There's another skeleton over there. Wonder if we can hit him from here. We can't. It hit the pillars. This might be awkward. Can you get out? I don't think they can. I can't hit them in the water either. Okay. Wow, the skeleton actually kind of floats when you kill it. That's wild. Alright, let's kill this one too. Nothing important on this. There's a chest down here. And some bones. We'll go ahead and water breathe ourselves. Level 80 trapped. Damn. That's going to require my master open lock spell. And we're going to need the Grandmaster probe. Trap disarmed. A Dance in the Fire, Chapter 4. Rare book. Scroll of Drathis Soul Rot. Huge poison with a paralysis of 5 seconds. Nasty. 1,250 gold. That is a crazy chest. That might be one of the most valuable chests we've found yet. Some extremely powerful scrolls in there. 1,200 gold. This guy had a bucket at least. Wow, Steel Jinkblade of the Aegis. Cast when strike, paralyzed for 20 seconds. It's worth 7,000 gold. Random? Okay. And some torches. Alright, cool. We can get out of here. I don't think there's anything else here for us. We should be able to just recall out. Now this is going to be tough, because the woman we have to give this cup to is currently trying to murder us. And the only reason she's not is because I cast a calm spell on her. So let's get our calm humanoid and get this ready. Let's get her shield out, because she's going to try to chop my face off. Let's save, and let's see if we can smoothly do this. Open this door, calm her ass down, hand her the cup, and see if she's like, okay, I like you now. I don't know. Let's see. I have my doubts. Okay, okay, okay. Not trying to murder me.
This is fight.
Oh, yeah. Trying to murder me. Okay. Are you calm? Are you calm? Damn, and when I talk to her, she tries to kill me. But I have the bitter cup. I see you've risen to Guardian. Word on the street is that you've become Mercy's lapdog and he sent you to kill me. I'm afraid I can't let that happen. You were always a disappointment. So even if I calm her with a disposition of 100, she's not letting me talk to her to give her the bitter cup.
Face death.
Stop, 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 stop.
How does
It's
it
fine.
feel
It's
to know
fine.
death is near?
Wow. This is a problem. Lady. Lady. Chill. I can pickpocket her.
You call this fighting?
Huh. So I wonder how I get around this. I wonder if I have to console command this. I don't want to, I've been trying not to use the console commands while I've been playing this game. But I got far enough in the Fighters Guild that now she suspects that I'm here to murder her. And even if I calm her down, every time I open her dialogue box, she tries to murder me again. Concerning. I might have to reset her or something with the with console commands. All right, let's calm her down. Walk out. Stop. Be a good girl. And oh, that's a pretty sky tonight. I think we'll go ahead and end the episode here. It's been a 3-hour episode. Normally I try to keep these things to about an hour. But this one ran long because we've had all these cool people here asking me cool questions about the game, how it's played, how to do different things. So thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for the follows. And I will link the YouTube playlist again down at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, no problem. And you guys can hop by whenever you want, whenever you see me streaming. I think later this week I'm going to start that Wolong Let's Play if you guys are interested in seeing that game. It's a much harder one and I'm going to die a lot. But I'll be doing the Morrowind Let's Play too over time. So thanks again for joining me, guys. I appreciate it. And I will catch you all later.